Hello and welcome to the Computer Game Show. My name's David Turner and I'm here with Matt Murray.
Hello.
And Sean Bell.
Yo.
But no James Farley this week. He's away on business.
Well, he's not though, is he? We've just discussed this. He's actually not actually away yet. He's just staying near the airport.
Can we talk about it next week with him? Because I feel bad laying into him for, the most Alan Partridge thing I've ever heard in my life. I don't know if I should just let him get on with it, because he's probably listening to this.
No, he isn't.
Probably, but no, I reckon he's listening to this about an hour before we record next week's show. Time next week.
He still won't make any notes.
Yeah. So he's trying to just sneak it in there. You know, he's not written your script yet, Matt. That's definitely not happened. He's not even thought about it. It's unbelievable. Like the opportunity just passes up because he can't be bothered. We'd like to start the show by thanking our Patreon producers for this month. They are Aaron Patrick, Simon Nelson, Tom S, Jack Oven, Moomin Biscuit, Richard Sawyer, Dave Ernsberger, Steve Garrett, and Colin Brown. Thank you so much for your support. Seriously, we say it every week. We really do mean it. Anyone that supports us on Patreon, it really does mean a lot to us. And to know that you're hanging on in there and still giving us your time and support, it means a hell of a lot. You can support us by going to patreon.com/TCGS. There's various different tiers. We've got bonus podcasts. We're excited about the next one. We're recording of that. We were talking about it just before we were recording this. And of course, we did a talks-over this week, and it was watching an episode of Cyberzone with Craig Charles. Again, not with him, but that was an enjoyable watch.
It really was. It really was.
If you are signed up to that tier, you can now watch it at any point. Go check the Patreon. What did they get a message say, Matt? How's that work?
It's just go to the post which I emailed everyone about last week. It'll have a link to the video. But yeah, like patrons get to watch it a month early. Well, watch it live, and if you miss it live, you can watch it a month early before it goes on YouTube for everyone else. And speaking of which, last month's Talks Over is now live for everyone, non-paying patrons. And in that video, we talked over some US gaming retail training videos, didn't we?
We did.
Which
some of them are great. $20.
I was going to say, you can watch that stuff. And then get that joke whenever we say it now. So
it's true, because we're going to say it a lot. We're going to say it a lot.
See, the thing about the $10 shows is it's not just an investment in the show itself. It feeds into everything else. It's extra value in the podcast as well, because we just do bullshit references to jokes.
That's what the show's been all the time. And I would like to say you're really missing out if you're not getting all the references, but we all know Sean misses out on 99% of the references we do on this show, so he doesn't seem too bothered. Matt, feedback from last week's show. What they say? They'll love it.
We're going to start with actually some Cyberzone related feedback. Sean, you should probably get your apology ready now. James Swift Day on Twitter. Red Dwarf first aired in 1988. Cyberzone aired in 93. Nerdface. I assume that's probably an emoji. Anyway, thanks for reminding me of Cyberzone, though. It's been lurking in my memory since 93, and now I'm finally revisiting it. So,
like
Sean, on last week's show,
you mentioned 1993 again. So, yeah, it's been in my memory since 1993, when it was first on, 5 years after Red Dwarf. Anyway, we covered this on the $10 show, so there's no need to go through it again.
Cover it. I mean, the mistake was made on this show.
Yeah, the mistake was made on this show, and I was corrected, and that was that.
Are you
No, that wasn't that. You were
now?
corrected. You said you tried to correct the correction.
No, I didn't.
And then, you did. When I corrected you, you were like, "No, I'm pretty sure. And I was
but then James corrected me, and I thought, do you know what?
And
James probably knows.
Do you know what? I should get angry about that, but that's exactly the John Denton recommendation of an indie game thing, isn't it? So fair enough.
Well, there you go. We're square.
Fair enough, Sean.
We're square.
Also on the Sean Bell-related message, Liz Walker, after hearing that another listener was enjoying his new Soundpeats earbuds, I decided to take the plunge and purchase a pair as well. So far, so good.
Right.
Yes.
My question is, when does this podcast become the Computer Game Show officially sponsored by Soundpeats as worn by Sean Bell podcast?
I do feel bad about that. We should not be... Come on.
What?
Actually, no, surely it's better that we recommend stuff that people aren't paying for, right?
It's just a sincere recommendation. But do you think we can get them to produce like a signature model, the Sean Bell sound piece?
Well, I really am thinking we contact him and make you a Sound Pete's influencer.
I don't think they could possibly sell their headphones for any cheaper, Sean. So, I mean, adding your name to it is going to take them below the minimum threshold.
They're finally going to make a loss on every pair sold. Yeah.
No, but
Sean Pete's. Well, that's what they call them, wouldn't they? They call them Sean Pete's.
Or would it not be Sound Sean's?
Yeah.
I think I might contact them. Because I'm already imagining, when there's maybe like a fragrance or like a trainer or something, and it's got maybe like Roger Federer, and like he's in the background holding it or using it, and it's got his signature on the page. I'm thinking that. I'm thinking Sean Bell, looking stern, looking sultry, his autograph. So,
rock hard.
And you can, and you can email them and say, look, one of our hosts recommended your earphones, and honestly, we all laughed. We thought he was taking the piss. But since then, the 3 people have bought them, and they think they're quite good. So.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure your sales have gone through the roof.
It turns out your headphones were not quite as shit as we thought, as we assumed. Soundpeak, let's get them on board. Let's get Soundpeaks on board.
I'm going to seriously contact them and say, look, influencer time.
What does that mean? Look, influencer time. What does that? What are they supposed to respond for that?
Well, no, because I also attach a picture of Sean Bell.
Gary,
looking sultry.
I've just got an email here from a company called TCGS Co. I don't know what that's all about, but they're saying here, look, influencer time, and a picture of a bearded man. How do we respond? Just delete it. Just delete it, baby.
Well, maybe the second email will be a bit more prescriptive. Following my last quite vague email, here's actually what I want.
Sorry, just to follow up on my previous email.
As per previous email, here's what I meant. An influencer time, baby.
Yeah, and it's just a gif of Sean with influencer time coming out of his mouth. And he's
and Sean's got nothing on except for sound peats from his neck. Yeah. Now, are they like... Do they have a cable, or are they just like two?
No, they're just free. I could put one up my bum and take a photo of that.
Oh well, let's not. I don't want to.
Pretty sure that's against. They might have sat in their instructions.
They're probably
looked up the book.
Probably wouldn't respond to that email, would they?
In the cover of, just thinking of a magazine that's still going these days.
I think you've just blown your sponsorship deal there, Sean. If they listen to this,
Christ, Sean, I'm gonna have to
so close.
This out now.
Hold on, just put their show on for a bit. Maybe you can put it up your bum, you bastard. Right, okay, turn it off. Forget it. Good.
Mr. Sound Pete, isn't that going to be? That's it. It's over.
Oh no! What if I did? So I'm lying down, topless, but I've got one over each nipple, like in American Beauty.
Can we not do
seriously?
This
podcast goes up at 5 a.m. People rush to listen to it. They're probably choking on the cornflakes. Come on.
Starting strong.
Sound Pete. Right, Athene Allen.
What was that, Matt? Why did you just slip the brand name in the little gap there? Where did that come from?
Well, actually, they emailed me, and that's what we've got to do every half an hour.
It's influencer time.
Soundpeats.com.
Oh, God, that made me feel ill. That was like bad ASMR.
Well, anyway, or good ASMR.
Dave.
Yeah.
Take that.
You showed me.
Allen.
What a counterpoint.
Yeah, got you there. I was actually king of the debate team at college.
I'm going to do that next time you're talking about a game. It's a really bad game. Or... good game.
Actually,
sit back.
I mean, there's no way to argue back about that. It's like
no, there isn't. Well, essentially, that's the argument that you did for Detroit against James Farley, wasn't it, Matt? It was along those lines.
Yeah,
and you know what state he got into? He didn't know what day it was. He couldn't
shut down, didn't he? Completely shut down there.
Couldn't counteract it. I said, well, actually, I like it.
Yep.
Oh, but
it's a fair point. Go on then, next.
Athene Allen, on voice chat evidence, this is obviously regarding the story last week about Sony recording party chat audio. On voice chat evidence, Apex has an automatic VoIP text converter. It's not amazing, but it can detect and censor swearing, slurs, etc. As I learnt when shouted at by a particularly nasty racist. However, it does not appear that they actually use that to generate bans, etc., which is disappointing to say the least. However, the tech is there and could be used.
They almost definitely can't use that to ban people because it's probably wrong all the time. Like the
but surely the idea is
chance of it being wrong.
It flags things up, and then there's just people whose job it is to just listen to the flagged up samples and just say.
Well, no, because they're not recording the audio by the sounds of it.
It's
taking a text to speech version and send it over. I assume is what is the suggestion.
Yeah, and if it's anything like Siri, every single word will be wrong anyway. So
exactly.
I mean, the funny thing is, people are probably saying things like Nazis and stuff, but because the text speaks so bad, it's just that stuff's getting past it. So also, Athene mentions Humble do an advent calendar every year, which some of the work actually mentioned as well. Humble Bundle do one. I think if you're on the lowest, this is what some of the work told me today. I think if you're on the lowest Humble monthly tier.
Oh, yeah.
You get access to it and they send you a game every day.
Cool.
Yeah, physical one?
No. I mean...
Athene sent that email just before we started saying that it should be a physical one, otherwise it doesn't count. Guaranteed. Guaranteed.
Simon Moorcraft, he sent us an image he'd created himself of a potential 2021 calendar. He said, it only took me 5 minutes to create this on the toilet, so if you want to have 11 months, it shouldn't be a problem. I haven't put the image in this doc, but I mean...
I remember it.
We've all seen it. And it's
great. It's really good.
Is this shitty thing to say that his surname sounds like an iPhone rip-off of Minecraft? Like one of those cheap... in Minecraft, I got Moorcraft, actually. It's better because it's got guns in it.
We're still playing Minecraft, though.
Expensive, yours?
We're going to get Moorcraft, mate.
Yeah.
World of Moorcraft.
You can still find them.
You can still find them. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
Simon, never message us ever again.
Simon, don't listen to... Right, Simon, don't listen to him, mate. You can message us whenever you want. Matt,
well, no, I mean,
Matt's got no authority.
Don't message us with a picture of James Farley's head on someone's chest is basically what I'm saying.
We need to tweet the image, don't we? Same as with Rafi's excellent Sonic drawing last week. I think people need to see this.
We could do that, but then I mean, don't read it out if you got a problem with it.
Well,
have to read it out.
I'm transparent at all times. Just saying.
Okay, fair enough.
Anyway,
you can see his organs.
Too much. Colin Ross Wilson on Twitter. Good evening, TCGS Scotland. TCGS. You see what he's trying to do. I've no real feedback, but I'm actually livid. No one has done the TCGS Scotland before. I mean, that works.
TCG Scotland.
TCGS Scotland. It doesn't work, Colin, is what we're saying.
Okay.
Barely
I've
works
got time for
down.
Colin. Colin's my boy. Team Turner, Colin. Keep it up, mate. You just don't like him because he's like he winds you up on Twitch,
because he's mean to us.
Isn't it?
That's
basically
generally how it goes.
Yeah. That's funny how that worked out, isn't it? He's not mean to me, so I quite like him, but he's mean to you guys, so you don't like him.
It's weird,
isn't it? It's funny relationships and that, isn't it? The way people react
are so
and stuff.
Complicated, aren't they?
This is like being in psychology. It's weird, isn't it? People are funny when they're nasty to you. People don't like them, but when they're nice.
You like him?
Do. Yeah.
It's fun. The brain's weird, isn't it? I don't know. I don't even understand it.
I don't. You have to ask a doctor.
Louis Belfort. Dave, regarding 4K 120 FPS TVs...
yes, mate.
You might want to look into the LG 6 48-inch OLED. It's £1,500. I was not paying for this advertisement.
Just buy one of those.
Sure.
No problem.
Sure.
That was the one I was mentioning to you. I don't think I shared it on the pod, but yeah, that would be the one I would go for. 48-inch OLED.
Sure.
Lovely old stuff.
I'm on the edge of financial ruin. I'm
just
I'm freaking out about
then.
where the next packet of crisps is coming from. No, I'm not that bad, but £1,500 for a TV I do not have. And not only that, what was it? Well, I've only had this one for about 4 or 5 years. My current TV, I cannot justify £1,500 on a new one. I like the idea. Thanks for letting me know, but my wife would kill me. That's
justifiably so.
That's the truth.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
I think so.
That's one I want, but I would want it as my monitor. So quite big, but it would be so good. So good.
Someone needs to calm you down.
I'm not buying it because I think I'll
water?
also get kicked out. November's going to be a really expensive month.
Yep.
Okay.
Because all the Christmas presents you buy for other people.
Belfort and some other people mentioned customizable flaps. Is this in the news, Sean?
I mean, it is, but I only put it in as a follow-up to us talking about it last week, so feel free to just do it now.
Well, maybe actually... Well, okay, so the news story is... I mean, I wasn't planning to do the news myself, but the news story is someone... a company called PlayStation 5 is selling their own custom
Good
PS5
name.
It is a good name. The
Great.
colours
They're
are
not
weird.
plates. That's the problem. They're not plates, are they? They're flaps.
They're flaps.
Yeah.
So they've embarrassed themselves, really.
Yeah, I mean, face flaps. They should have called them that.
Yes.
A PlayStation 5 is the company, and they're selling basically these variety of different colours. They're $40, which is £32, and they'll ship them within 2 weeks of the launch date. They've got colours such as black, matte black, a nice grey colour, which kind of reminds me of that special edition PS4 that was like the old PlayStation 1 colour.
Why didn't you just go to the PlayStation 1 there, Matt?
What did I say?
What happened in your brain
it looks
then?
like the PlayStation 4,
It looks like
but in turn looked like the PlayStation.
Why didn't you just go, it looks like the PlayStation 1 grey? Instead you went, it looks like the special edition PlayStation 4 that was built to make it look like the PlayStation 1 grey.
I just went back. I just went, okay, what's the most recent thing that's that great? That, okay, and then go back to the year. Just saves me a lot of time. Anyway, so it looks like kind of like the PlayStation 1. And then there's like a nice
camo one which looks rubbish.
I can't see that. Where's that?
The majority of these are going to look rubbish.
I mean, because what gets me about this is...
Sean, where's that one? It's a joke. I can't see it.
I see. Sorry, it's hidden in
camouflage.
a bush. Hope to ship them to customers within 2 weeks of the console's launch date. Is that because at the moment, they literally can't know what the actual specifications are of the flaps?
No, they've
right?
definitely got the spec. They've definitely got the spec.
I think they're just going to have to buy one on launch day and be right, fucking measure it, quick.
Yeah, so you can get cherry red, you can get camo, you can get indigo blue. I think I'm definitely going to order. I mean, £32, I'll take a punt on one.
The black one's really nice. Yeah. Black one's really nice. I like the blue as well.
Okay.
I'd probably go grey or black.
Grey?
Yeah, it's grey like the special edition PS4.
Okay, let's go through the feedback because I have got something to say about it.
So the feedback is thus. Let's scroll back up. Yeah, so Louis Belfort said, customizable flaps. Here's that link. And I was like, okay, cool. SMW. Dave called this one so well. Pete Haynes, aka at Pitwar on Twitter. Another win for Dave, ? And a bunch of other people said, hey, look at this. It's the flaps, isn't it?
It's the flaps.
David.
Well done, Dave.
Yeah, no, I'm quite proud of myself for calling that one quite early on. I'm happy with that. But
I'm surprised it's only one company doing it. I'm surprised there aren't loads already throwing that out.
Yeah, I think, again, you worry. You do wonder how quickly they can put this stuff together.
Yeah.
And how confident they are they can recreate those flaps. But one thing that I was thinking about after seeing all this praise and feedback and, isn't they great? Is that one of the things that I was saying like last week, or was it the week before, that Sony were going to do them themselves and you're going to see a lot of like promotional, hey, here's a God of War plate or whatever, special edition when you order the console. One thing that throws the spanner in the works there is that they're not universal, are they, for PlayStation 5, these flaps?
Yeah, there's disc and non-disc.
There's disc and non-disc.
Yeah.
That really complicates things.
Does
it? Really does.
You could just sell different ones, can you?
You can sell them, but if Sony were planning to sell them, they'd want to make it as easy as humanly possible, right?
Yeah.
I think the fear might be that they'd have just a ton left over for like one specific SKU and maybe not enough for another. They must know the figures though, so maybe not. Maybe I'm making it sound worse than it is, but I don't know.
Do you reckon what would be more expensive, disc or non-disc? Because even this PlayStation only sell the disc one.
No, they're doing both, right. I think.
Oh, do they? On their website, I can just see the. Oh no, maybe I have to go into it and actually change it.
Right. So my prediction is, if Sony are going to sell them themselves,
you can change it. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah, they will be the same price for both consoles.
Yeah,
but obviously it'll cost them a couple of pennies more to make the disc one. So
that's what PlayStation are doing.
They're sending them for the same.
Yeah,
I've always liked those PlayStation boys. They know what they're doing. I've got a feeling, Matt said, I think I'm going to take a punt and get one of these. Definitely going to email them tomorrow. Guaranteed.
What, me? Right. As in, say, I'm going to take a punt, a.k.a. send us 50 plates, boys.
Yeah, could I have one?
Yeah, give us a plate.
Yeah.
Give us a plate. Actually, I think the grey is actually shiny, so maybe I'm out of that. But yeah, no, I mean, I'll take a punt for 40 or quid.
By the time the day that this podcast comes out, the unboxing, the rumour is the unboxing embargo is lifted on Wednesday. I can't wait to see that stuff. I'm really excited to see if that bit in the middle is as shiny as some of the things have shown it, because I don't think that is.
I mean, it will be. I mean, obviously, David.
But some people were messaging in saying that actually there was a plastic strip on that bit.
I mean, I believe there was, but also it's shiny as well, I think. But.
Oh, it is still shiny. Yeah, you wouldn't put a plastic strip on a bit of.
Is this the level that the new console hype has reached? We're talking about how shiny we think the front panel on the console.
I finally got excited for the Series X this morning because I watched an unboxing video. Have you seen the box that comes in?
No, not the retail one. No.
Yeah,
that's one of the few surprises about the consoles.
But the way you open that box is pretty cool, if I do say so myself. Yeah. I'll show you later, Sean. I'll show you later.
So, I mean, I don't think this is in the news because it wasn't that big. But obviously, a lot of the big US influencers and tech sites and gaming YouTubers and stuff got their PS5s and accessories last week. But that was all they could create content about, the fact that they got the boxes.
God, fucking hell.
I think Austin, I can't remember his name, but the tech YouTube Austin, someone I can't remember. I think he could unbox. The DualSense, but so I'm thinking the stuff on Wednesday. It's good like the Xbox, where they can take it out of the box and show you and handle it, but can't turn it on, and then that'll be another video.
Did you watch that DualSense? Did you watch? Yeah, no, it'll be a standard unboxing from Wednesday, and then I think it's either by Friday or Friday week they can open. I think it's Friday.
But they can turn
more
it on.
Embargoes drop, and then Friday after that, a lot more embargoes drop. But did you watch that video of that? What was that guy's name that got the DualShock out?
I think it's Austin. Someone I know. I haven't. No.
Yeah. Did you see how he tested it?
No. What did he
do? He connected to xCloud because he's not allowed to turn the PS5 on. He's not allowed to play any PS5 games. So he said, "What? There's nothing saying that I can't connect it to my phone and play xCloud games on it." So he's playing Forza with it.
Brilliant. And does it feel good for Forza? It just shows you how stupid
this shit is, really, isn't it? They've got the consoles. Wait until everyone's got the consoles, and then just say go for it. Honestly,
I mean, this is keeping in the news over. It's frustrating, but it makes sense what they're doing.
It's irritating as fuck. No,
yeah, but it keeps in the news for weeks rather than one day.
Photos floating about. Oh, look, everyone trying to come up with witty ways of saying I've got one. You know what I mean? It's like, just shut up. Get on with your life. Enjoy. You can open it and play it. I don't care. Just don't put it on the internet. Ooh,
how many videos do you think we're going to see of people being like, here's the PS5, now let's see what shelves I can fit it on. Ooh, not in this one, not in that. I mean,
possibly.
I mean, that's what I'd do if I had.
I'm really looking forward to seeing the comparison.
We haven't been sent one.
It is.
I'm looking forward to seeing the comparison against the Xboxes, because I genuinely do think, maybe I'm mad, but I genuinely do think, because Matt's getting both, right?
Yeah.
I think you're going to open the Series X and go, that's a lot smaller than I thought it would be, because that seems to be the general reaction from the people that have got those boxes.
Mm.
I think when you get the PS5 out, especially because it comes out after over here, you're going to open that PS5 box and go, fucking hell, this is bigger than I thought it would be. I don't know.
I think the opposite way around, actually, because we've all, I mean, until we see the proper unboxings, and although we've seen some videos here and there, we've all just been, ahead saying, it's massive, it's massive, it's massive. And we've seen some of these sort of 3D, AR, CGI mock-ups, and I swear some of them are just wrong, because they can't possibly be that big. I think when we actually get it, it'd be like, okay, this is big, but it's not 6 foot tall.
It's the biggest console of all time, Matt.
I'll wait. I mean, it probably is, but
we have got some plans. We've got some plans for when those consoles arrive in our hands. So keep your eye out.
Keep it locked.
Keep it locked.
SMW, not a spaceship. We also talked about the Xbox UI, about it being 4K and stuff, or not 4K as we've been led to believe. Regarding the Xbox UI not being 4K, they haven't officially confirmed either way yet. The dashboard is 1080p on the preview units, but they have made a point of telling all the previewers that a dashboard is not final and that they should not preview the dashboard.
Naughty.
I mean,
no, but they've let them show it off, right?
Yeah, but I think that what they're saying there is the dashboard may be improved or changed, from 1080 to 4K, but that isn't final yet.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't really bother me, frankly. I mean, if it loads quicker than 1080, I'll take 1080. I'm hardly like crying about it, but we'll see. Cullen, I think that's how you pronounce your name. Hey guys, been listening for about 2 years now, and you're the only video game podcast I consistently enjoy, so thanks.
Hey,
I'm a teacher, so just wanted to comment on last week's observations. Firstly, wanted to say you absolutely right, a lot of school policies do suck. I find myself constantly battling for the kids' enjoyment against systems that seem to want anything but.
Because the regime don't like it, baby.
My school is particularly regimented and even banned the word fortnight at one point. Really is a weird place to work at times. As a teacher, I basically have no spare time as I'm constantly planning, marking, etc. outside teaching hours, so finding a game to stick to is hard. Then he goes on a bit of a question, but we'll allow it. I've never played a roguelike, but wonder if Hades is the type of game that would suit someone like me who could only play in short stints here and there. Thanks for the hard work.
Yep.
I think so. Yeah, you can get through a run in a few minutes, but the deeper you get into it, the longer the runs become. Yeah, I mean, when you first started off, you last about 5 to 6 minutes, right?
Yeah, I suppose. I mean, when you start consistently getting to the end,
getting to Elysium, you're looking at 45-minute runs.
Yeah. But then equally,
by the sounds of it,
go on, sorry.
Yeah, you reduce that down.
Yeah, exactly. Once you sort of break the barrier, you'll end up you'll be completing it in sort of 25 minutes every time.
Yeah, my first completion was 33. I was quite happy with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's a tough one because it's it changes. However, you can just stop. Like, it saves when you enter a new area, so you could just turn your console off and then carry on with your run. The only problem with doing that is that as you play it, say you're putting everything into your special move rather than your attack or your cast. When you go back into it and you've forgotten what boons you got, you're kind of like, oh shit,
you sort of how was I using this build again? Yeah, you have to remind yourself.
Yeah, that's. But other than that, I'd say yes. Also, how do you ban a word fortnight from a school?
Yeah, given that it has an existing meaning.
When are we doing PE next?
In 2
weeks' time. We do it every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks. Is there some sort of easier way of saying that?
14 days.
I'm afraid not.
They should change it so that if you're referring to the game, you have to call it Fortshite instead.
Or fork knife.
They shouldn't.
I think they should. There's nothing for school to do.
Midnight Resistance.
If the kids were clever, they would call the game 2 weeks. So are you playing 2 weeks tonight? Yeah, we'll play 2 weeks. No, I'm playing 2 weeks tonight. No, I'm playing tonight.
That's what we would do. Yeah. The thing is, we would never call the game name when we were at school. You just make your own sort of language up. You'd never go, are you playing Fortnite? You'd say Forters or... Yeah. You want a couple of weeks tonight? Tonight? Yeah, definitely. For sure.
Okay. Mr. Oliver Quest has got in touch. Refakes. With the swarm of fake listener accounts plaguing your inbox, I can commiserate. For some reason, there seems to be an uptick in Facebook accounts using my name. I know the current Oculus Quest users are fuming over Facebook's refusal to recognise and link their accounts, but you can understand why I did this. In no uncertain terms, I spoke to a top brass at the company and explained my irritation at the flood of imposter accounts. This was before the launch of Oculus Quest 2, and I'm glad to see they made sure to block chances from cheapening my name. Oddly enough, and the Facebook team seems to agree, the start of the whole nightmare seems to coincide with the release of TCGS's episode 220. I'm glad they got their policies in order.
That could be legit, right?
Could it?
No, it probably isn't. But like, if your name was Oliver Quest, and you Googled your name, somewhere in like the top 2 pages, TCGS Oliver Quest is got to be up there because it was the title of that show. You'd listen, wouldn't you?
Listen. So you're thinking actually this is brilliant for SEO. Okay, I like that, yeah.
For Oliver Quest SEO, yeah.
Well, if that's the case, we should just rename an episode like Free iPads. Yeah. Or,
no, that gets lost. Just people's names. Maybe we just target people's names.
Oh my God, you weren't kidding, Dave. I've done this in an incognito tab just to be absolutely sure.
What's that? What's an incognito, Sean? What's an incognito tab?
It's the port when you watch porn. You put it, that button.
Oh no, I use that for when I'm buying gifts for loved ones. That's what I use it for.
When you want to look something up, but you feel like a bit of an idiot having to look it up, and you don't want Google to remember that you're stupid enough to have to look it up.
What do you mean, people? What do you mean, people? What are you talking about? Do people get like a rundown of your search history?
Well, it's Google. They just
seriously, do they? Because I'm fucking in trouble if they do.
The FBI.
Everyone knows that Google have people who just watch. Literally sit there on a computer. What's Sean Bell up to today? Oh, he's Googled how to spell tomorrow because he couldn't remember how many M's it had in it. We're the 4th result.
Yes.
For all the quests.
This is great.
There we go. Yeah. I'm putting my money that this is a legit Oliver Quest. And this is a legit complaint. So we might be in trouble.
Now we're good.
Sorry, Questy.
Speaking of Quest, Brad from America's emailed in re-Oculus/Facebook accounts. Last year I deleted my Facebook and Instagram accounts because out of all the big bad data harvesting companies out there, Facebook seems to be just about the worst of them, and my relationship with these social media platforms was unhealthy at best. Getting out of the Facebook ecosystem was one of the best decisions I made for my mental health, and I'm sincerely glad to be no longer supporting that company. That said, I'm also a gamer who wants nothing more than a cheap, easy VR headset that I could just buy for under $500 and easily play without having to wire into a PC or dedicate a room to. Mm-hmm. If Oculus had just pretended that they weren't a part of Facebook and continued to let people play their game console without a Facebook account, I would have been able to overlook their ownership, and I'd be playing a Quest right now instead of writing this message. Their decision to force people to have Facebook accounts to play their video games is one of the most frustrating business decisions I've ever had to consider. They're making the exact video game product I want right now, more so than even the new consoles, but forcing a Facebook account on people is pretty much a deal breaker for me at this point. And there's a bit of a question again. Do you think there's another company out there who could put out a similar headset in price range and give Oculus some competition? PS. Here in the Midwest United States, we also had that Knuckles game Dave described. Here it's called Bloody Knuckles.
Yeah, I bet you used a quarter, though, yeah?
Yeah,
hey?
Quarter. They're always doing that, aren't they?
Use a dime.
Before a dime in my knuckles, you schmuck.
I mean, do you wonder if the Oculus Quest 2 is as cheap as it is because they basically saw it as an incredible data harvesting opportunity?
But possibly. I agree. I agree with Brad, though. It's the most bizarre decision ever. You don't even need to pretend that you're not part of Facebook, right? You just make the Facebook link there optional. Enough people to do it.
Yeah.
If you, the reason why I did it initially when we first got the Quest was so that I can post screenshots up.
Yeah.
And then, save them from Facebook and then put them somewhere. That was enough for me to link it. I didn't feel threatened. I didn't feel like my headset was useless if it wasn't. But also, if you set up a little fake Facebook account and link your Oculus to it, who cares? Who cares? Right? Okay, you don't get your mining of the data that you want, but at the same time, you're getting a load new profiles set up on Facebook.
Yeah.
You could crow about how many people are signed up to Facebook when we know 99% of them are fucking bots. It's baffling to me.
I mean,
the only thing that I can think of is that the data mining done on those headsets is way worse than we think it is.
Well,
it's way more interesting than we ever give it credit for.
Because I was thinking this. So the Quest 1, I don't think I mentioned this on the show. It was the other week. I got a notification on my phone saying, "Oh, your Quest is running low on battery. It's at 5%. Do you want to recharge it?" And I was like, useful, but why is the headset communicating that to a server to then bounce back to my phone?
Yeah.
That's weird, isn't it?
I mean, that's useful, isn't it? I think that's great.
It is useful, but it's like, that is definitely also being stored and monitored somehow.
Yeah. And also, you have to remember that on the outside of these headsets are 5 cameras, is it? Do you know what I mean? That doesn't feel right to me.
And obviously, in isolation, who cares if they're monitoring what level my fucking battery is? But of course, this is how Facebook operates, isn't it? It's death by 1,000 cuts in that every single bit of information, what's the big deal? And then it's the many ways they piece it all together over time. And I don't know. It just seemed weird. That has been another news story about this. It was only a short one. Should I just do it now?
Yeah, why not? I mean, basically, James isn't here. We can do news in the feedback section. We can do whatever we want.
Feedback. It's all chill, man.
Yeah, it's like cowboy style. It's fine.
We got a substitute teacher in, mate. Put your feet up. Fuck about for a bit.
Just wait for an 18-8 movie.
Yeah.
Basically, it's been confirmed that so if you once you've merged your Oculus and Facebook accounts, which you have to do to use the fucking thing, if you do ever decide to delete your Facebook account that is associated with your Oculus account, you lose access to everything on the Oculus account, including all of your purchases.
That can't be news, though, right?
I know. I mean,
that can't be surprising.
Like those headlines are like, whoa! But I would also imagine, if I delete my Apple account, I would lose my apps. I mean,
yeah, but
it's different.
So like, my Facebook account is linked with my Spotify account, for example, but I can just divorce them at any point if I want. If I want to stop using, I don't understand it's different, because it's Spotify aren't Facebook. But do you know what I mean? Like, surely there should be the option to be like, well, can I separate it from that Facebook account and attach it to a different one, please? They shouldn't just be linked for eternity, surely.
But when people connect to their accounts, like, this is a one-time thing you can't unmerge, which is like the Yeah,
but we're not defending it. I just don't think that this is news. I would expect that to happen when you merge those accounts.
Well, it's a good job we're not doing it in the news section then, isn't it, Dave?
Yeah, just get out early. Yeah, doesn't count.
Doesn't count.
Good. It all works out in the end, doesn't it? All works out in the end.
Like
Brilliant.
Luke Summerhays. On last week's show, Sean reminded me how much I must miss Miiverse. David then went on to say, nobody ever got banned from Miiverse, but as someone who received 1 or 2 week bans quite a number of times, I say that's dead wrong. My first ban... do you want to respond to that, Dave?
Yeah, what? When did I say that?
Good response.
Did I say that? Dave then went on to say that nobody ever got banned from Miiverse. I never said that.
Didn't you say people? You said people weren't moderating it very well, right?
Yeah.
Because Harry was seeing dicks and stuff.
Harry was playing New Super Mario Bros. U on the Wii U, and there was Yoshi dicks all over the screen.
Right.
So not great, is it? But at the same time, I'm sure people got banned. I'm sure people got banned, though. Yeah, for sure. I never said that. Nobody ever got banned. What a bold statement that would be.
I want to hear about why Luke got
banned from Miiverse. Did you know this little known fact, Sean, that nobody ever got banned from Miiverse?
That's a little bit of trivia for a pub quiz.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Dave witnessed one crime and then was like, no one ever goes to prison. All the prisons are empty.
Did you know that no one's ever deleted a Facebook account? So this Oculus story is bullshit, mate. So that's what I've heard.
Well, Luke Summerhays has deleted his account 1 or 2 times a week. So that's what you didn't know. Anyway, Luke, let's hear about his bans. My first ban was from posting an entirely undoctored... Yeah, come on. Oh, actually, maybe I should have proofread this. My first ban was from posting an entirely undoctored screenshot of Twilight Princessa?
Princess. He's just typed an A instead of another S. The game's called Twilight Princess.
I was like, maybe it's a character I'm not aware of. Twilight Princess.
Princera?
I was like, is this might be some anime thing I'm not aware of. Anyway, an entirely undoctored screenshot of Twilight Princess and merely pointing out that the chicken had saggy green nipples.
Amazing.
He did that on Miiverse. The second time was when I let my friend...
Why were you sweating about that?
Matt, have you not heard of The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess?
Is that it?
Is that what's happened?
Well, I mean, I wasn't aware about the green nipples.
You Matt, admit you didn't know that was a Zelda game.
Of course, that was the Waggle one, and that's the one I didn't finish because Yeah, too much.
Yeah, that famous Zelda game, Zelda, the Twilight Princess.
Princessa, yeah. The second time was when I let my friend Colin use a Wii U, and he immediately drew Batman with a big rec knob on the Arkham City page. The rest was entirely my fault. Game and Wario had an online mode in which players drew pictures based on the short prompts. For example, if the word phone or 3DS, I drew a picture of the device. I mean, this is just... No. I mean, Luke, you're also getting banned from this show.
No, Luke, this is so tame. Matt, what's gotten into you?
I mean, it's no worse than my Soundpeep stuff from earlier. I think we read it out.
Squeeze between two bum cheeks. That is what you were so scared of saying. Have we got to this point on this show now?
There's no need for that kind of language. Like you said, people are now, they've already thrown up their cereal after hearing about Sam picked up Sean's bum. They're probably just maybe getting their second snack because they're like, okay, I've calmed down, I've had to lie down. Now they're hearing about 3DSs and bum cheeks. It's probably that food all over the carpet.
That's now. Like the anus was fine, but the cheeks, forget it. That's too far.
I'll draw the line at
that. just hold yourself together for a second, right? Bear with me. That was taken down, and I was maybe banned. On the other hand, if the word was Mario or gas, I drew some exposed bum cheeks. Okay, Matt? Doing okay?
I'm done.
Maybe farting. Farting. Sorry, Matt. I apologise. I apologise for my language there. That was apparently fair game. So the official Miiverse policy seems to be willies, no boobs, no bums.
No, hang on. You're reading it wrong.
No, Dave,
reading it wrong. No. It's willies, no. Boobs, no.
Yeah, okay.
Bums,
there's no punctuation between there. Like.
Willies, no boobs, no. Bums, yes, no. Stuff.
I thought you said willies, fine. No bums, no boobs.
Can we just start again? Can we just start?
Right, yeah, you read this bit now, Sean. Let's take a turn.
The official Miiverse policy seems to be willies, no. Boobs, no. Bombs, yes. Stuff going into bombs, no.
That seems fair. The adverts on the pad were pretty bad, though. True. Yeah.
Well, just the last bit.
Okay.
Stuff going into bombs, no.
Right the adverts on the pad were pretty bad, though. Anyway, we'll move on to Lindy.
We're still on feedback. Fuck, but we were saying, it's going to be a short one.
It might still be. We've got fuck all for what you've been playing, and we've only got about 2 news stories left after this.
Good point.
Most of it's spent now on the... Actually, the whole show is just going to be feedback.
Lads.
We've had some questions.
Do we need James?
Who?
Why is it right? But this happened when Matt was off. We got really silly with it. And it's just whenever, for some reason, when there's only 3 of us, we're just like, fuck it.
We can do what we want now. Right, Lindy, read Genshin Impact. I've played quite a bit of Genshin Impact over the last few weeks, and whilst I can see the discomfort in seeing a teenage anime girl character wearing clothes that probably don't protect her well enough to withstand the various attacks of the Hilly-Churls, I don't agree these characters are being sexualized, at least not by the characters themselves. Lisa, the slightly older librarian, is a sexual woman. She refers to herself as a woman when you try and gift her something during a quest. She calls you out and states something along the lines of, that is for a girl, I'm a woman, and she's confident in her manner and flirty, and she's not playing to a daddy role. None of the other party members act in this manner. They are younger and act that way. There's nothing provocative or suggestive in the language from the younger characters you play as. They never make suggestive comments. And I've never had any dialogue from NPCs be suggested to them either. They're also dashingly charming older male characters, and again, they behave in a more adult way compared to the younger male and gender-neutral members of your party. The art style was very anime. There is no getting around that. But I've seen very little, aside from breasts that defy gravity, that both inspired awe and concern for the individual or well-fitted bra, and that gave me real cause for concern. Whilst it does still adhere to some of those anime art style tropes, Genshin achieves a level of wholesomeness and shows respect for its characters. I agree with all the points Matt made about the core gameplay, even noting Destiny-style raid boss mechanics, and I share the same reasons for him as for my enjoyment of the game. Gacha mechanics are really similar for me too, the only difference being at a higher adventure rank and world level, weapon drops are really helpful for me, more so than character, unless I get a really flipping good one. Diluc, for instance.
So, right, so that was directed at me, right?
Yeah.
I agree with a lot of that. I don't know how the characters are treated within the game. I do disagree with a lot of it, and I think the line that stuck out the most was the art style was very anime, and there's no getting around that. Well, I did a bit of research after last week's show. I looked up specifically because I thought, okay, who are the 5-star characters? Because they're the ones that they're going to try and get people to spend as much money on to get. And one of those 5-star characters looks very much like a child. And she's got no skirt on. She's got, you can see right up her thighs and everything. And I just thought, look, whether you look at the way the characters in general dress in that game and think, no, this is okay. This isn't sexualizing women. This isn't unfairly sexualizing women in a certain way, whatever. I think sexual characters and sex in games isn't necessarily an immediate negative. I think there's a stronger discussion to be had around that seems to not be happening because people are far more willing to point and scream at things rather than actually say, look, I think we've always been quite the gaming community has always been quite fair with Bayonetta, for example. When you look at how she's presented and everything, but then when you get to know the character, things sort of work in context and it works. What I don't have time for are characters that are drawn to look young and still dress those ways. I think that is where it crosses the line for me and when it actually makes me fucking angry.
Is this, I can't remember her name, is this the fire one who's the current, which is one of the current ones you can get?
Klee?
Is it? Yeah,
the one with the purple hair. But then also there's this Chi-Chi. Is it Chi-Chi was another character that they found that they expressively, like they say it's a child, yet there's official artwork out there that's angled down, looking up a skirt that doesn't go past the waist. And I just think that's fucked up. I don't care what art style it's in, that's fucked up. And now, let me be clear, right? I'm not saying that this whole game needs to be exploded apart and say this is all of it's like awful and everyone that plays it needs to see this stuff. What I'm saying is that this element of games like this really fucks me off, that no one looks at this stuff and says that's messed up. And the excuses that I've heard is the art style. I don't go along with that at all. And the excuses I've heard, it's a culture thing. And I absolutely don't go along with that at all. And do you know what? I'm not saying I'm right either. I'm just expressing how I react to that stuff.
Yeah. If it freaks you out, it freaks you out.
Angers me.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying don't play this game, boycott the game, blah, blah, blah. What I'm saying is that there's a problem there. And I find it weird that not many people are talking about it. So that's my response to that email.
Cool. We're going to end with this last one from Dave.
Are we just going to leave it on me having a little rant, or if is no one else got anything to say?
I had nothing else really to say. I mean, I enjoyed the game. I really have I have no thoughts on the art style, which actually is probably worse. I just looking at it, there's no emotional reaction at all.
Yeah,
because I do put it down to it's anime stuff and whatever. I mean,
but when I pointed out those things to you last week, like, did you look at that and go, "No, David's wrong," or actually, David's got a point? What was your reaction to that?
I just have no thoughts on this. I mean,
yeah, but that's fucked. You must have a thought on it. You must think either actually, what David's saying is wrong, right? And I'd like to know why you think that's wrong, or you'd say actually that's right and that is a point that needs to be made. You can't look at that and say,
honest, it's kind of hard for me to determine like an age, and like you could say young, you could say old. I mean, I look at everything. I don't know what age they are. They're obviously wearing skimpy clothes.
It's just, I think for me it's just divorced enough from reality, and I don't see them as sexualized enough to. It doesn't register for me, unfortunately.
It's not. It's not to me though. It's not. I look at the characters and I can see that age is considered in this artwork because you can look at them and say that one looks older than that one. You know what I mean? That character looks older than that. Yeah,
like you can understand relative ages, but I don't know.
I don't feel right, and we had a discussion about it privately in the week, Sean, because I thought our interaction on the show was a little bit, not dismissive, but we were both coming from two sides without explaining ourselves well enough. And then when you pointed out the stuff,
was sort of set for the discussion, where it just sort of came out of nowhere. And,
come out of nowhere. But like when you pointed out the stuff that Xenoblade did, I just thought, why is this the first I've heard about it? And there's every chance it's because I wasn't involved. Like, I didn't really know about the game, didn't read up on the game.
Yeah.
But that was fucking horrible.
Yep.
And I just think Nintendo had a name to that. No, it weren't Nintendo. It's not Nintendo, is it?
It's published by Nintendo, I think, yeah.
Come on. Like, that's really fucking messed up, man. And
so for context for everyone else, this is a character in Xenoblade Chronicles X, I think, wasn't it? One of those anyway. And basically there's a character who is like 14, and in Japan, one of her costumes is like an incredibly revealing like swimsuit, which for the West they covered up a bit. But that's like literally not even as a taste issue. It's because it literally would have been illegal to release it here if they hadn't.
Well, this is the thing, right? So the story that came out of that is that people were angry that it was being censored.
Yeah,
and
I mean, come on, guys, that's the hill you're going to die on. Jesus, like
the argument shouldn't be why are we not allowed that here. The argument should be why does that exist over there?
Yeah,
that's what the argument should be.
Yeah,
and that you know. They know that they had to change it for over here. Why? I'd like to sit down the person that made that decision and say, why do you feel that you needed to change that? Yeah. Because the only reason I can feel is that because it's fucking wrong. You know what I mean?
I'd say it's literally a legal issue. They would not have been allowed to release it here in the original state.
It really, and maybe, there's no, I'm not even going to try and defend myself by saying, maybe I just don't understand. But that's fucked up. End of story in my head. Like, I'm not even going to try and understand any other viewpoint on that, I'm afraid. So if you're going to email in, it's going to fall on deaf ears. I'm not going to hear it. It's I don't know, man. And then again, when I was looking at some of the artwork for this game, I was just kind of like, look, as Lindy said, I didn't look at the majority of the characters in this game and think, this is really sexualizing, the characters in it, and that's wrong, because really, it depends how it's done, as I said, there can be sexualized characters in games if it works in context, if it's not nasty or problematic. I think there's a way of doing it. But when it comes to kids, man, fuck that. Like, no, fucking no. That's where the line is. No way. And your arguments of you can't determine age, I think, fine. But when I look at it, I see very, very young women and different characters that are clearly older. And it's, whatever. I think it's something that needs to be looked at, but it's strange that it doesn't come up as much as some of the other stuff. Some of the Western games that get spoken about in such an angry and sometimes justifiable way. It's it really angered me this week, actually, thinking about all this stuff. Yeah. Okay. Well, sorry that derailed the podcast a little bit, but we
will. I think we ended there. We had another question, but I think it's actually a question. So, and I'll keep crowbarring questions into feedback, so that's wrong.
To be fair, it's usually me that does that by accident. Well, don't blame yourself.
If you want to leave us feedback or get in touch in any way, shape or form, or for anything we talk about, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs.
James, fuck. Sean, news.
Do you want me to do the news?
Yeah.
Yes, Sean.
Right, Sean.
Why would I say Sean?
I've got it in front of me.
News if
I've got it in front of me. Hang on.
Okay, well, just read it, Sean.
Sure. Why would you?
All right, just hang on.
Every week it's you doing.
Right, hang on. Okay, I've got one. I've got one here. This is a short one. This is just another sort of follow-up from something we discussed last week.
Let's just pause there for a second.
Yeah.
Very good, Sean. But you should have said, you should have made a review of the news beforehand because you know he always does that. He'll go, it's been a bumper week or it's been a bit of a bad week. Every week. Every week he's got to give a little comment about how good the week in news has been.
Brief one. Just we talked last week about there was this list of confirmed enhanced Series S and X games for day one, and we were talking about the fact that Halo the Master Chief Collection wasn't on the list, and that seemed like a missed opportunity. They have since confirmed.
Doesn't need it, mate. Yeah. Doesn't need it.
It's perfect as it is. So they have confirmed it'll be 4K, 120 frames, all of that shit, which again is cool, but also isn't it weird that at the launch that's going to be I can't wait to play Halo 1 again.
What's it running at the moment on the Series X?
I assume it's 4K 60, is it?
Oh, assume, dear Sean. Have you got you not done any research for the news? No.
Nope.
You knew it after that.
Well, at least you admitted it. Is it 4K at the moment? I'd love to know that. Because if not, adding 120 frames per second is going to make no fucking difference, is it?
Well, yeah, this is it.
To the majority of us.
And is it just going to turn out that most, we were saying how many games are realistically actually going to run at 120 frames? Well, Halo 1 does, but that doesn't necessarily say anything about more modern stuff, does it?
And it really annoys me that they seem to go, it's a big advantage when you're playing online because it means you can react quicker. Oh, brilliant. So unless I get a new TV that can handle 120 frames per second, I'm going to get my arse whooped constantly again.
Pay to win, mate.
Yeah.
Pay to win. Right, yeah, so we've got two stories just about Phil Spencer just saying things willy-nilly in interviews and just dropping bombs. He's great, he does this. It's good.
Loves it.
So he's teased in an interview that Microsoft have thought about doing streaming sticks and also possibly another tier for Game Pass, which would be Game Pass Platinum. I mean, the streaming stick thing is interesting.
Don't like that.
No, I don't like that.
Did we talk about this? That. Did we talk about this, Dave, on the show? I can't remember. Because I had this a while back. I had this theory that before we knew what the Series S was, I was like, I bet you it's just a fucking streaming stick and a controller.
Yes, we sort of mentioned that if they were doing a cheaper console, that it will probably just be a streaming box. Yeah.
Which was wrong, obviously, but yeah, it's interesting that they are considering.
It makes total sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, totally.
But then they also need to be able to. I mean, Fire Stick. They want to get on that, won't they? Amazon Fire Stick. They'd love to get. Yeah,
I mean, because the Fire Sticks are nuts. So I've got a Fire Stick, and I wanted to use Steam. Because I use Steam Link quite a bit now on my iPad and my phone. I was like, I could probably use that and save trailing HDMI cable from the PC to the TV. It doesn't officially support it. You have to sideload it, and even then it doesn't really work very well. But it does work on the new Google TV thing.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some people do that. Yeah, latency is really bad, but they got it working on that.
Yeah.
Oh, they got it working on that, but it's not officially. You can't officially get xCloud on the Google because if they bring.
I'm talking about Steam Link, not xCloud.
Oh, sorry.
But could you imagine? But I saw someone sort of put xCloud on a weird streaming thing on Android TV.
I suppose you can just sideload it even if it wasn't officially. Yeah, I mean, a lot of the people, even the Steam Link stuff I was looking at, they're all you've got to have a wired net connection, which means plugging it in, because so obviously it just powers by USB and then just the HDMI out goes straight into your TV. So
why has it got to be wired?
Just to reduce latency. You're
talking about specifically for Steam Link, right?
Yeah, but obviously it'd be the same for if you want to stream from your Xbox in your house, you'd be much better off making sure everything's wired.
Yeah, obviously, but if you're streaming from your mobile phone, which is xCloud's one of their big things, you ain't doing that with an Ethernet cable plugged into your fucking...
No, you're not. It's a fucking pain in the arse. You basically got to plug a USB hub into it with an Ethernet port on it, and it's not really worth it. So it'll be interesting to see what they do if they do an xCloud stick.
God, I'm really hoping that they get xCloud on these new Google Chrome sticks than before Stadia.
Yes, I've just found the link. Yeah, so basically, someone hacked. Someone got xCloud working on Android TV. They basically had to download an xCloud app, they'd sideload it, go into some File Explorer stuff, but they got it working with a hacky workaround, and then they connected their pad via Bluetooth to a TV. Like really bad latency, but they got it working. I was thinking, like,
so with workaround.
So with like Amazon Luna and with Stadia, both those pads connect directly to the service through Wi-Fi, don't they? Do you reckon there's a possibility of actually Microsoft releasing a pad that connects? Pad. Yeah, so a Wi-Fi pad rather than a Bluetooth pad.
Haven't we said that before?
Possibly.
Hasn't the pad got the ability to connect to Wi-Fi already?
No, it's just Bluetooth.
There's one that does, though, right?
Well, I mean, there isn't one on Xbox that I'm aware of. Obviously, again, like I said, the Luna one, the Stadia one, but
Stadia one does. Yeah, I think
Stadia
maybe it's just when we talk about Stadia.
Wi-Fi, but
I'm sure there were rumours that the Xbox pad could do that a while ago, and we were talking about that stuff.
Maybe, but well, I mean, I hope it does. I mean, I think there might be like a wish or like a rumor, but because I think I would have heard if that was the case. But obviously, with all these other streaming services, they do it that way, and obviously do it that way for a reason. So it'd be interesting to see if Microsoft release another version, or an updated pad, or something that can connect through Wi-Fi if it doesn't already do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, and the other thing was this Game Pass Platinum thing.
Yeah. That was the thing Dave and I said we didn't like. It's like, okay, you've got a Game Pass Ultimate. It's already confusing, really, because everyone's like, oh, brilliant, Game Pass, I can play an xCloud. No, that's Game Pass Ultimate. They're always promoting Ultimate, not Game Pass, even though the term Game Pass is like is the name everyone hears about. But Ultimate is the one with all the features. Like, don't then again. It's just it's a good discussion.
Well, yeah. Like, so and the idea is that Game Pass Platinum would also include your hardware, but then that's already covered by Xbox All Access, isn't it? Like, it's not really clear how this would be any different. So yeah, it's just duplicating things they have elsewhere with a confusing name.
It's just confusing, isn't it?
And yeah, so don't really understand the point. I mean, the phrasing that they use here is that Platinum would include free guaranteed access to new Xbox hardware. So maybe it's less. Obviously with Xbox All Access, you're in like a 24-month contract essentially. Whereas maybe with Platinum, it'd just be like, just pay the sub, and as long as you've got a sub, you get the new shit whenever. But then I don't really see how that's
sounds like a lot
workable.
Admin for Xbox. I mean, again, I shouldn't. That's not really like the consumer's worry, but like, if that service blew up, they'll be constantly posting out new Game Pass sticks to people.
Having to recall it if people cancel their sub. So there must be a minimum term involved. Like, weird.
I mean, I don't like the whole Game Pass and Game Pass Ultimate. I think they should just call it Game Pass, and you can have a different tier, but just call the whole thing Game Pass. Like with Netflix, you can have Netflix, or you can have the one, the 4K.
Yeah, it's like 4K one or the HD one.
But they don't call it like Netflix 4K, Netflix HD. It's just Netflix. So it's just called Game Pass, and then there was tiers within that. But I don't like the branding of it, because it's just I think it's confusing, and I know what it is, but all these big features they're touting, xCloud and streaming this and so on and so forth, and get early access to things and perks, and and play on PC. I mean, I get that, and I get they do to differentiate it, but just call the whole thing Game Pass and have little tiers within that. It's the different naming of it. It's just, I think, is confusing. But the idea of them doing a stick, that makes absolute sense.
You're listening to the Computer Game Show by TCGS.
That makes total sense. I mean, okay. I think the stick. I think the stick thing does make sense. But I think what would make more sense is just to get the xCloud app. It's not even called that anymore. It's not an xCloud, is it anymore? What they call it?
No, it's just part of the Game Pass app now. Yeah.
Well, get that streaming service on TVs and stuff. I mean, that made more sense.
Yep. Totally.
Cool.
And the other one he's talked about is the, sort of vague sort of references to maybe reviving 1 versus 100 that we saw on the Xbox 360.
Which is what we discussed recently, didn't we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. Because it's fucking
1
good.
1 versus 100. I mean, why not? Why not? Give it a go. I mean, it seemed popular back then. I could see a live game show game doing really well. And if it's on... Well, it depends, isn't it? How do people access it? If they can access it on xCloud for free, then that gets people downloading xCloud, and there's not a paid barrier to join this game that solely relies on as many people playing it around the world as possible. It could be a good idea. That I like it.
No, it's just,
I like it, Sean.
So this came up because he was on a FanFest stream last Friday, and apparently there was supposed to be a quiz at one point, and for technical reasons it fell over. Of course, that wouldn't happen to us. Wouldn't happen to us.
Don't happen to us. We smash it out the park.
Yep. So we just started talking about sort of vague comments about when we try and do new things, they don't always work, and we've done a trivia game in the past, and maybe we should try something like that again. Maybe wink. So everyone's assumed he's talking about one versus 100.
You reckon he was just bored?
Maybe.
This will
fucking wind everyone up.
He knows everything he says is not taken out of context. But everything he says is a tiniest little thing people report on and create headlines out of it. He could just say whatever he wants.
Because it doesn't even feel cynical, does it? Like, some devs are like, well, not that he's a dev, but some people in the industry are known for doing this. Like, I remember Cliffy B talked about when he took the piss out of the PS3 controller, and it was like this otherwise quite nice normal interview, and then he just mentioned that he fucking hated the PS3 controller, and that was the headline everywhere. And it's like, probably did that on purpose, right? Like, whereas I don't know, with Phil Spencer, I don't get the impression he does it in a cynical way.
No,
but maybe I'm being naive.
Who the fuck knows? We got no idea. But did you say the stuff that he said about Rare? Yeah, have you got to that?
No, I've not mentioned that. But that was basically what new Banjo is entirely up to Rare or something.
Yeah. He said new Banjo Conquer is entirely up to Rare, and I was thinking in the week, like, I'll tell you what it was. Harry was watching the trailer for the Smash Brothers characters. And he watched the Banjo-Kazooie one, and there's a shot where it looks like they were on that spiral mountain. And I just thought, because the other comment he said was, we're really lacking in E-rated games, right? Mm-hmm. Like, kids' games, we really lack in that area. I just thought, if you released a very, very good platformer, Banjo-Kazooie, man, straight to Game Pass, fuck, man, just get that done. I can't imagine what a Banjo-Kazooie would look like with this much power now,
Yeah.
A 3D platformer with a powerful console it could look incredible.
And Rare's art direction's just fucking unbelievable at the moment. Like Sea of Thieves and that new one that we're not really sure what it is yet, but it fucking looks amazing. Like,
the only thing that worries me is that I think they're more likely to think, okay, what can we do that's completely different with Banjo? Like they did with Nuts and Bolts. Don't get me wrong, incredible game, but I just want them to go back to that 3D platformer again.
And there's clearly an appetite for it. Like, Ukulele, Hat in Time, and all the these other ones that are sort of cropping up now.
Don't bring up
New Super Lucky's Tale.
No, but you're looking at things like Mario Odyssey, and there's nothing that comes close to that.
I mean,
Banjo.
But you've got to imagine they would do a full remaster first, and then get the excitement.
No, I wouldn't want them to do that at all. Those games are so dated in terms of mechanics.
Crash.
I was going to say Crash. That's what worked for Crash, wasn't it? So.
But it's also like it's also like do that, get that money. At that money aids development as well. Surely.
Yeah. You gauge the interest, and you
gauge
interest and use that money to
develop. Microsoft. Do you know what I mean? They don't need to gather their pennies together to develop a new game. They're doing all right.
No, Microsoft might say, look, you bring me £100, everyone, right? And you can have the $1 billion to make it.
Do platform levels the size, probably double the size of the levels of Nuts and Bolts, and with those characters, you could smash it. Get that out there. That's what I want.
So
you listening, Phil?
Phil. Would that not change the dynamic of the game if you suddenly had levels which are, massive? No, it wouldn't.
Mario Odyssey.
Well, yeah, but they're done in... Yeah, okay. I mean, they're done really well, so...
Go on.
So. I was going to say, they're done so, like, each of the massive levels are segmented in their own ways that kind of make sense, rather than just, here's a massive, almost open-world level-sized game.
No, yeah, but that's what I said. Massive levels like Mario Odyssey. Make Mario Odyssey, but put a bird in a backpack and stick it on a fucking bear. That's what I'm saying. Get that done.
I mean, if I was just if this happened 6 months ago, I probably would have said, well, let's take a bet. I reckon they'll do a remaster before a new version, but that's the old me. Not anymore.
He's such a bad loser.
Let's move on.
Such a bad loser.
Let's move on. So, yes, just final point on the 1 versus 100
David?
thing is that he spoke about it.
I think you are, Matt. Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed, but I think you might be a bad loser. I
just wanted to clarify.
Cool. Yeah, I don't. I'm getting subtle hints of bad.
So Phil Spencer mentioned last year, he talked about 1 versus 100 specifically, but he did point out that it is an IP not owned by them, so there would be negotiations involved. So I think he probably is talking about something else in a similar vein now, but who knows? Right, last one. Have any of you been following this Atari Hotel business? Because apparently this was announced back in January that the unstoppable shambling corpse of Atari.
Wasn't it just that they were pitching an idea for a hotel around?
Yeah. Well, there's concept art now, and it looks
It's got the logo on the walls, is it?
The entire building basically resembles the Atari logo. It looks fucking nuts. I don't think it'll end up looking anything like this because it looks absolutely absurd.
Let me have a look. How can you put that in the... Is there the thing in the...
It's in the dock.
All right, let me have a look. Yeah.
It looks like something from like an 80s cyberpunk
it looks amazing.
It does kind of look amazing. And it's supposed to be like, obviously it'll be like an actually nice hotel with bars and shit, but it is also going to have a ton of gaming stuff.
That is a really, really nice design. That is legitimately, I was expecting it to look like it couldn't exist, but that does not.
Do you reckon? Really nice. To me that does look sort of unfeasible, but obviously you're the...
No, it's completely feasible, yeah.
Okay, cool.
The only thing is the cantilever of the canopy on the left-hand side.
Okay,
that seems too far, but...
Nerd.
Building nerd.
Yeah, there'd be more columns in there on the left-hand side, but if the structure of the building would go straight down, basically.
Right, yeah.
That would potentially work. But that looks nice, man.
It does.
Fair play.
And if you scroll down to the next one where you can see the sort of
what's that other bit? Okay, I didn't see this bit. I was looking at the first picture. The fuck is that?
It looks nuts. But I mean, Christ, if it actually ends up looking like that, then fair dues.
It's not going to exist, Sean. They got funding for it?
Doesn't say. Apparently, they've hired architecture firm Gensler.
That's fine.
To bring it to life. But that's all we know.
Yeah, no, they haven't got funding for it. Then they're trying to pitch the idea, try and get someone to pay for it. That's clearly what's going on there.
I forget where Atari's up to now. I can't remember who actually owns it. It's like GT Interactive that became Infogrames that then. Did they become something else? I can't remember. Obviously, it's certainly well removed from the original Atari from back in the day. And I think it's just a name they sort of whip out to sell shit, isn't it? But this does look cool. But hard to imagine it'll ever...
The second picture doesn't even look like the same fucking building. What is that?
Yeah, I can't picture where that is in relation to...
It's not. It's
not, is it?
Unless it opens up. Yeah, I think they're two different concepts, but okay, fine.
Yeah, whatever.
This isn't going to exist, but it's nice to look at the pictures.
No, but if it does, we'll all go there and we'll do apparently it's going to be equipped for streamers and influencers, so I'll see you there. They'll probably let us go for free.
God, could you imagine that? You're trying to get asleep and hearing next door in the next room. Hi, guys. Today we... Oh, fuck off.
This is the thing. Like, if it's, a hotel full of gaming shit is, like, probably a nice place... to visit, but I wouldn't want to stay there. I wouldn't want to go on a gaming holiday. Do you know what I mean?
Not only that, you go there, you go, can I have a double bed, please, in my room? Oh, no, there's no double beds here. Single zone.
Singles and bunks.
Really? You don't do singles? Yeah, no one's ever requested double. We've been over
for 5 years.
That's bad, isn't it? I'm playing into the stereotypes, isn't it?
That's it for the news.
What you been playing? I'll start this week.
Right. Arrogant, go on.
Well, I suppose it is a bit, isn't it? Yeah. I went back to Hades. Just briefly, because I was quite fascinated by how much I got into the Greek god stories after that. What do they call that? There's a word for that, isn't it?
But myths.
John uses it.
Mythology?
Myths. No, there's like a specific word for studying Greek gods and stuff.
Losers?
Nerds? John will kill you.
Bring on. Ooh,
but yeah, some of the stories are dark as fuck, and it's changed the way I react to those characters.
Yeah, they're really horrible.
Yeah, they were pretty nasty.
I might mention before. Yeah, so being into this stuff as a kid, like the amount of times that it mentions Greek gods seizing women, like, and you're like, oh, I wonder what that means as a child, and then later figured out what it meant. It's really horrible.
Yeah. But the game's still good.
Yes,
the game's still good. Still worth a run out.
I can't remember where I was last. Did I mention I've seen the credits now?
No, you hadn't. Fuck.
Yeah, man.
How many runs did that take? And were you even taking damage at that point?
Yeah, I was. So God mode got me. I think I was up to like 40% damage resistance by the time. But then the last, it just reached a sort of a threshold, so it got to like 40-ish, and then it just did like 7 clears one after the other. And then,
okay.
But yeah, that was fine because at that point I was ready for that. And now that I've done,
you walk out the courtyard bit, and then you're suddenly outside.
Hey, well done. But then now I don't want to spoil anything, but there are ways to make the game more difficult for yourself if you want to. And now I'm getting into that stuff because I mean, although the story is essentially over, there's still new things popping up, just new bits of dialogue and stuff, and it's still incredibly enjoyable to play. So I'm still having the odd run at it, and as I say, now that I'm not worried about necessarily clearing it every run, I'm happy to sort of enable things that make it more difficult, and you can earn more stuff and make it more interesting. And yeah, great, fucking good.
It's on the list, Sean.
It's on the list.
It is on the list. There is no way there's not on the list. And remember, we are now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, possibly 7 episodes away from the draft.
Yep.
How crazy is that when you think of it like that?
It's fucking nuts.
We're nearly at the draft, heading towards it. So that was really good. And I've been hammering some more Spider-Man. Not much else to add other than I'm way into the busy work.
Yeah.
Way into the busy work. I did pretty much all of the cat stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Where you look through the camera and that. Did pretty much all that last night because I was just laying back and I didn't really want to get into the story that much. Just wanted to swing about and do that stuff. So I did all that. I was a little bit worried that the payoff for all of that was going to be shit, but it was all right. Spider-Man gets a nice cool suit.
It was a weird one, yeah. So I was doing that and I was like, well, I know that there's Black Cat DLC. So I know they're not going to do anything substantial with these side missions because I imagine they then lead into the paid DLC. But whatever, yeah, it's fine.
I will say that I'm surprised, like, not more of the suit. Most of the suits look so shit. Why can't they just stick to the basic red and blue and just make it look cooler every time? Instead, it's like, okay, this one's like on fire.
Yeah, but they're all like excellent references to people who really like the comics.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, they're all like historical in that
people,
regard.
Sean. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of them are just fucking mental. Like the one. Have you got the one where he's all white and on fire, and he's got a skull for a face? And
yeah, I got that one. I got that one, boy.
To the point, like weird to the point that it's just really incongruous with the rest of the game, really. But whatever.
Just give us a few more cooler blue and red ones.
But there's loads of just blue and white. Blue and red and white ones.
Yeah, but most of them are like classic ones from the 70s or whatever.
No,
they look rubbish now.
There's loads of decent ones.
Alright, okay. Maybe I need to keep playing. But also, I am really not liking the Mary Jane bits. Like, fuck that. I'm so done with that. They're not hard. They're just shit.
They're just way less fun than everything else.
The way they introduce them is brilliant as well, because you meet up with Mary Jane and she goes, oh, you wouldn't believe what happened to me. And you're going, no. The screen goes blank. Goes 15 minutes earlier. And you're like, fuck.
Montage.
Oh, quick, knock that over and walk the other way. Brilliant. Great. And there was a few moments that were really fucking me off where you have to run up things while things fall down. And I was like...
All I will say is that is leading to quite a cool bit.
Okay, fine. But 25 hours you say this game was?
Mm-hmm.
Lose these bits. I don't need to... She could have said, oh yeah, I snuck in. Like, that would have been it. Fine. Wouldn't you prefer that?
In a lot of cases, yes.
What did you do? I snuck in. And then, like, again...
No need to give me any further detail, Mary, thank you.
I like those little hacking puzzles. Right? I like them. But there's a big button next to it that says skip if you want. Brilliant. When Mary Jane comes up, you will just skip if you want, seriously.
It's weird because it's like they recognised that, do you know what? The puzzles are not necessarily what people came here for. And therefore it's fine if people want to skip them. You would think the same would apply to the stealth section.
But they definitely want to knock over a box of spanners so they can walk in another direction.
That is why people turn up to a Spider-Man
game. They definitely want that. But yeah, the combat's getting better and better, and I'm really enjoying the story. So I was very, very glad. There's quite a dramatic scene in it that involves a ceremony. Should we say that? Yeah. People that play Spider-Man will know that.
Yeah, on occasion. Ceremony.
Yeah, very dramatic scene for a ceremony. And I'm very glad Harry didn't watch that bit because he's been watching me play all of it. And then one night I thought, actually, I'm just going to sit and play this on my own for a little bit. And that scene happened, and I was like, fuck me, Harry would have been in bits. Like, Jesus, that was strong. Come out of nowhere, but fair enough. It's nice to know that they're doing that stuff, you know. What rating is that?
Yeah, because it's a huge shock for me because it came out of nowhere. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know anything about the story anyway, but it was a really hard-hitting sort of part of the game.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate that as someone who...
Is there any more of that?
I mean...
Not to that level, I don't think.
No.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So I wouldn't have to worry about Harry watching the rest of it.
I'm trying to think. I don't think.
I mean, there's a bit where Spider-Man gets his dick out.
Yeah. He does that. Yeah. Does that quite a lot, actually.
He's famous for it.
Have you
not got the transparent suit? That's my favourite one. He's not swinging around those rooftops, Jesus.
No, I've not seen that. Does he move where the web comes out of? Right,
okay. Anyway, so it's a fucking great game. You said you have started doing some of the Black Cat stuff, have you?
I know, I've finished it.
Finished that.
Yeah. I
did
thought
the whole lot
great.
last night. Yeah, they were alright.
Yeah,
I mean, they're not
like
great, are they?
No,
you get behind the camera
the thing.
Every time I was like, new little set of missions. It's like, I like little different. There's also like catching the pigeons. Is it the pigeons?
Catch the pigeon.
Oh yeah.
Catch the pigeon. Yeah, it's 12 of them to collect. Yeah, fine. I like all that stuff. It's easy, busy work. I wouldn't say they're great, but it's easy, busy work. I do kind of think, why make this whole mini game where the idea is to really search around like Where's Wally to try and find this little thing, yet ruin it by making the thing shine really brightly at the lens and make your pad rumble when you're near it?
Because that's not even... Because there's usually the big painting near it, right? The big graffiti of her face.
Yeah.
So that's what you're looking for. So yeah, you're looking for that.
I didn't even notice that.
And then
didn't
you
need
saw...
to.
Yeah.
Okay.
So loads of them I just noticed because I saw the graffiti. I was like, oh wow, there must be one near here. Cool.
Do you know what? I reckon that was 100%. That'll be... They did the graffiti first, and then they play tested it, and people went, I don't understand it. So fine, we'll fucking put a big flashy light and a vibration in, then
it's horrible. I hated that. I was like, just let me look about. Like, fucking hell. The amount of times I would just waggle the stick about and it would go, right, it's over there then. Zoom in, there it is. Good. Mini game done. I don't know. Look, these are very minor gripes. I'm really enjoying the game. I'm deep into it now. I think I'm probably about halfway through. Not really.
Have you upgraded any of the moves you can do and stuff?
Yeah. I'm playing it for the combat. I really like the combat in it. I think the camera's a bit shit every now and then, but I'm really liking the combat. I'm getting a little bit tired of the stealth combat because, I mean, the difference between... It's very similar to Batman. But the difference I'm finding, I don't know if you know this, Sean, but the Batman stealth, a lot of the times, you're not sitting there thinking, how can I separate people to take them out one by one? You're thinking, how can I fuck these people up?
Yeah.
Like, because you can cut them down as well once they're hung up. They get hung up in the same way, Matt, in the Batman games.
Oh, okay.
But you can also chop them down, so you can go the other side of the room, and then you can just throw your bat meringue. Is that it? That's a dessert.
Yeah, it wasn't just
that's a bat meringue.
Bat meringue. I mean, that's the episode title. That is the episode title. It was with Batman. It was what do they call it? Aggressive stealth or whatever. In that it was wasn't like, oh, no one can even know I'm here until they're all dead. It was like
people, you get to fuck with their heads.
Yeah, it was like people knew you were there, they just didn't know where, and that they just knew people were disappearing and getting bad.
Yeah, so if you get seen, you can easily get out of it. I've only got out of being seen once in Spider-Man, and it's a bit
it's very binary, isn't it? Once you've been spotted, that's pretty much it. You're in a straight up fight. But I mean, I liked it just in terms of like, do you know what? Stealth what you can, but then once you break stealth, battering people is also very good fun. So whatever.
What was the? Everyone was talking about a special move that you unlock that makes the combat redundant. What was it?
Oh, I don't know. Which one's that?
Was it the bomb, the sticky bomb?
I don't know, because
so.
I feel like the combat was at a good difficulty. It always, when you get more enemies and more difficult enemies that you've got to attack in different ways when the combat happens, I feel like the upgrades helped me loads. So I didn't remember anything that changed it fully.
Final thing on this, and I won't talk about it again until I've completed it. But on my hope, don't say anything, don't give anything away. But my hope is that it really fucks the city up, like, because that's what where it feels like it's going. Yeah, like the enemies are getting more and more progressive. There's more and more crime now happening, and I hope it goes full prototype, because that no one has got close to that. Yeah, you know, prototype had a lot of problems. But Prototype is probably the open world game, like not an open world game, but like sort of the GTA style, you know, set in a city like that where you can go anywhere. So I suppose technically that's where open world came from. But they were so willing to just completely destroy the city they built. Like,
yeah, because they sort of basically the entire city was built 3 times. In different states, and then it's sort of basically normal bits, and then militarized bits, and then virus bits, and then each area could turn depending on who'd taken it over. And
by the end of the game, practically the whole city was covered in virus, and it was horrible. It was horrible.
And because it started with it. It's like it started at the end, didn't it? And it was like little 20-minute bit where it's like you've got all your powers and everything's just fucked, and it's just awful. And it goes like, right, 2 weeks earlier, and everything's nice and quiet, and you're like, fuck. Like that's
I love it when games do that. That's one of. I mean, I know I've mentioned it a lot, but that's one of the reasons why I love Mafia 2 so much, because you got to explore a city for a little bit and then go back into that city 10 years later, and it feels completely different. It's really good. Okay, cool. All right, that's enough for Spider-Man for me. Matt Murray.
So it's been a busy old week, so I've really played a little bit of Genshin Impact, and I kind of already feel that it's starting to lose its grip on me. Or
really?
I think mostly because I've been so busy, I haven't really played as much. I've still logged in every day because there are daily login bonuses, and I will admit I did put some money into it for the first time.
Whoa! How much?
I bought like the $4.99 pass thing.
Yeah,
which basically it's a one-off payment, and then for 30 days, every time you log in, you get this primo gems and nether currency used to make wishes.
Always best to do that when you're about to stop playing it, isn't it?
Well, this is like the thing that always happens to me. If I ever buy a game, well, it's probably less happening these days because most games are digital, or I'm buying most games digital. But what would happen is I would love a previous entry in the series. I'm like, I'm like Battlefield. Love Battlefield 3, absolutely hammered it. I thought Battlefield 4, launch game on PS4, whatever, I'll buy digital, and just didn't play it because servers were shit and so on and so forth. And there's been loads of games in the past. I'm like, okay, the next one I'm buying digital because I know I've loved the previous one and it didn't happen. But I bought this because because I'd already put like at least 25 hours into it. I absolutely love the game. And I thought, I'll do it. And I get like these, like I said, you log in everything every day for 30 days and you get these gems which help you do the gacha mechanics and wish for more characters. And I've still logged in daily, and but I've been really busy. But I have done I think last week actually I mentioned that I wouldn't really be playing on my phone much, but I have been doing it at lunch, like doing the daily missions, which are these things called commissions, where you just go around and there's only 4, and they'll often be go to an area, talk to a person, or go to this area and kill 8 enemies and stuff. And I mean, I still maintain the controls on mobile are so shit. They're so bad. I mean, they're just about usable, and I can just about get through these commissions, but it's not fun. It's not it doesn't feel good. It's not like this is. I mean, like say what you want about Fortnite on mobile, you could play the game on Fortnite mobile, and it's just I don't know. You can't really customize the controls. You can't really move where the buttons are.
And you can't use a controller on the mobile version,
and you can't use the controller
insane.
yet. I mean, hopefully, they're going to patch it in because this is the first time I was thinking, hang on, maybe if I bought one of those Razer Keyshies or some other sort of controller, a pad, like a clip for a controller and my phone, or something to put my phone in to use as a controller. I was like, well, when Genshin potentially gets controller control support, that could be awesome. But having said that, I've played less this week. I mean, I'm still playing bits, but nothing like I was the week or so before. I mean, I've discovered like massive new parts of the map, so that's the only thing I've really been doing this week. Little dailies at lunchtime if I find the time, or partially exploring the map, but nothing else. Done no wishing, done no events. I mean, I think if it's just with business, it's not for not wanting to play it, but I just haven't put as much time into it. But you've been playing.
You don't need to
more.
Explain yourself to us. It's fine.
Well, because you do get people who are like, "Oh, well, you mentioned you're not really playing that anymore. Does that mean you think it's shit now?" And it's like, no, it's just busy. I don't. I mean, yeah. So I'm basically you on a week delay, I think. So I'm where you were last week, and that I've now gotten into it quite a bit, and I am really enjoying it. I've basically just spent quite a bit of time just pottering about the map and unlocking fast travel points and stuff. But yeah, like I'd initially been quite keen on the mobile version for, obviously touchscreen controls are never as good, but I thought they were pretty competent. But actually, once you start getting into the combat and doing some proper boss fights and stuff, phone controls are not gonna cut it. Like, you do need a proper controller.
I would say console controls aren't complicated, but there is a lot to juggle with, like, you switch between the different characters using D-pads and then their moves, and then you look at cooldowns to switch characters, and there's a lot to do even on the pad. So on touchscreen controls anyway.
Yeah, and just in
these
terms
aren't particularly
of like,
great ones, I wouldn't say.
Like, there's a lot of dodging going on in combat as well, and you're just never going to be able to do that accurately enough.
Yeah, the combat is like
touchscreen controls.
Probably it's probably like the most surprising thing about the game. Like the game is very surprising in a number of different ways. Like the amount of content on there, and story and stuff. But the combat is really, really deep, and there's so much you can do in terms of juggling and comboing the various elemental attacks. And when you get to quite difficult enemies, they all require different ways to deal with them. I'm really impressed by that, and I'm barely into it, so I'm sure it's only going to get way more complicated. And there's other sort of trial type things where you go to, I think, a certain part of the map, and there's like really difficult boss battles for good rewards. And I think them battles are really, really complicated but really rewarding if you nail the combat.
It's just been a really pleasant place to be. Like, just to sort of have on, like when I'm working from home, like if I need a sort of 10-minute break, like, right, cool, let's just pick a spot on the map I've not been to yet, go and have a look, and find some chests, do some puzzles. It's just the fact that as you're trotting about, or trotting about the world, there's enemies to batter, but there are also these weird little sort of puzzles as well. Usually, often it's just like, here's a chest, but it's got like a energy field around it, and you've got to basically find a way to get above it and then drop down onto it.
Yeah, they're good,
which either means finding a point where there's like an air vent blasting up, or figuring out how to get somewhere else in the terrain and then jump down onto it, stuff like that. That's it's not massively taxing, but it's just seeing something and going like, oh, okay, how do I do this? And the answer will always be there somewhere, and in that sense does remind me a bit of Breath of the Wild. In terms of the little Korok puzzles and stuff, it's not quite the same, but just that sense of just spotting something and being like, okay, now what? It's just really pleasant. The soundtrack as well, it's fucking great.
Yeah, music's awesome as well.
Like it's it's all sort of fairly typical orchestral fantasy stuff, but it's actually just noticeably good at times. It's not just it's whatever orchestra doing stuff in the background, who cares? It's like I don't know if it's on Spotify. I will probably go out of my way to listen to it. Is it? Cool.
How much of the map have you opened so far?
How many what, sorry?
How much of the map have you opened? Have you gone south much of like Mondstadt, the main place?
Not really, no. So I'm still just sort of in the vicinity of Mondstadt so far.
Okay, right.
It's all like, because there are like different countries, right?
Like last week, I was like, okay, I'm going to stop doing missions. I'm just going to explore. I want to do what I did on Breath of the Wild. Stop doing story, but just explore the place. And I happened to go to the one place where it feels like you can't go until a story event happens. And I was like, well, this is this is rubbish. I want to explore. I thought this was like a Breath of the Wild style thing. And I'm going to a place where it's just a massive red sort of, well, it's not an invisible wall because I can see it, but it's like a sort of semi-transparent red wall. I was like, this is rubbish. But it turns out that's the one place on the map you basically can't go. The rest you can explore. Okay. But I got a mission last week and I've kind of like finally happened. It's finally, I'm finally doing it, whereby someone, the mission was to go to a really far away place. Some locations of opening up are absolutely stunningly gorgeous for a game. Obviously, it's quite, it's Breath of the Wild style graphics. So, and I mean that in terms of style, but this is also, I mean, I'm playing on PC. It's like 1440p, 60 frames. So it's the graphics are amazing, but obviously also heavily styled. But yeah, so like the draw distance and some of the locations. If you go to like a really high up sort of mountain or location to look over, a huge, vast sort of lands. It looks stunning in places. It looks really, really beautiful. I love how it looks.
For all my complaints about the controls on the mobile version, there is just this. Occasionally, like I say, you just stop and look at it. It's like this. I'm playing this for free on my fucking telephone. This is ridiculous.
It's crazy.
Like it's absolutely absurd. So yeah, I mean, maybe maybe I'll be where you are now in a week's time. I don't know, because I'm still occasionally, getting materials together to do a wish or to do the 10 wishes, so you guaranteed a 4-star thing. Yeah. And I'm still quite consistently getting like new characters out of that, but I assume that dries up because you start getting.
Have you got any 5 stars yet? Have you got anything that's actually made you? Have you got any good drops?
No, I've had like quite a few 4-star ones. Yeah. But that's it. But it's once you start getting duplicates, it's then you get items that just like improve your existing ones, right?
Yeah.
So obviously that's
which is cool, yeah.
Which is cool, but obviously it's not as exciting as just like getting a new one and being like, fuck, right, what's their whole deal? I mean, the characters are all really different, aren't they?
Yeah.
Like really like different styles of play.
And I like the fact you can create different parties depending on so you can have I can't remember how many, but you can just save like presets. Okay, these 4 characters, or these 4 characters, and these 4 characters. Oh, a bit of a game changer that Lindy mentioned in the Discord channels that you don't have to have you as a character.
Oh yeah, the main characters, completely interchangeable, aren't they?
Is it called? Oh, I'm gonna get this wrong. It's not. Is it Traveller?
Oh, I don't know.
Is it called the Traveller? Anyway,
yeah, I think so. Yeah, or
Adventurer,
Traveller, something like that.
But don't you just name them at the start, don't you?
Yeah,
you do, but
you create you as a star. You can basically, you don't have to be in your party at all, so you can just put in 4 really good players.
Yeah,
but I like the fact you can save 4 of them sets.
Yeah, it's good.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes.
Can we just put the time is 22 minutes past 10.
Yeah.
I'm just going to put in the TCGS group chat. Enjoyed that one, chaps. That's all I'm going to put. And then you guys reply. So James thinks that we finished recording the podcast at 23 minutes past 10. He's going to be furious.
Sean, if you put that was a really good one.
Yeah, okay, that felt
and I'll
like a good un.
Say something like, I might even get this edited tonight.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll write that, yeah. James will not be happy.
No, just see, I'm going to let you know if he responds.
He's typing. James is typing.
James is typing already.
Oh.
Week out of 10, I think he rumbled us. That's a shame. That is a shame.
Not too early, really. Also, no, he's actually in Discord listening to us now. Okay.
Right.
Genshin's still good, but I'm glad you put more time into it, Sean.
I'm really impressed by it.
I thought you'd enjoy it.
Yeah.
Cool. Anything else?
Sorry, we're still on Matt, aren't we? I
played a bit more Super Mario Bros. I didn't finish it because
I was so sure you were going to finish it last
night.
I
mostly wasn't. For like the 3-hour stream, I only really concentrated for the last 15 minutes.
Your stream was fantastic. You can watch the full thing on YouTube now, but I think you're starting to get it. Do you know what I mean? And not in a patronising way, but I think all the struggles you were going through on that stream, that gave me nostalgia big time. I was looking back on that and just going, I remember that. I remember how much I hated the Hammer Bros. I remember getting to Bowser and just thinking there must be a system here. There must be
just trying to find the gap.
Yeah, it's and then running through the gap and not stopping in time for Bowser to stomp on your head and stuff. It was
it's great. Yeah,
it's so good.
And
it's
I mean, like I mostly like a lot of games. Actually, I mostly I'm my own worst enemy because I'm mostly like rushing needlessly. And in that last 15 minutes, I said, I'm just going to take it slow, and I don't have to. Why am I rushing and like making mistakes? I could just take it slow and do it, and it was a lot easier, surprisingly. So I just got to remember that. But no, it's absolutely brilliant. And I love the maze stuff. I thought that was great.
Yeah, I mean that's what's so good about Mario games. They come out with ideas. I mean, for the time, they're just like crazy. Even the whole throwing a hat on thing in Odyssey, it's like, Jesus, this is real. I mean, this just feels so good. It's such a simple idea, and you've been able to possess stuff in other games before, but here it's done flawlessly, isn't it? You know what I mean? And with the Mario game, Mario Brothers or whatever, you just like, okay, this isn't just good. There's a lot more behind this than what meets the eye.
I will say,
like as you said, you were struggling with the octopus enemies in the water levels.
Oh yeah, the water level.
And then someone pointed out that just you can totally manipulate them. They're probably one of the, once you know what you're dealing with, they're pretty easy to deal with, because all you got to do is go high, let them float up, and then go underneath them, because they're shit of swimming down.
Yeah, they're slow, aren't they? Going down.
Yeah.
And that definitely made it easier for sure. But that level kind of just frustrated me. I've got to World 8, which is the final world. So, and I love the stream on Sunday night. I had a really good time. It was fun to do.
I was going to say, if you're listening to this and thinking, I don't need to watch a stream of someone playing Mario Brothers, I'm not interested. Fine, but if you are instead interested in Matthew's previous romantic blunders, definitely. Also,
there's a lot of that chat, isn't it?
Definitely, also give it a watch. Because I think
Matt said, "I hope my wife's not watching," about 8 times.
No, I mean, if she was, it was fine. I'm just, I don't quite know why I said all those things on screen. But
did you notice how red his face went when he was talking about those stories?
That always happens. It's because I'm hot in the outfit.
Does it?
Yeah,
you're a good-looking lad, but don't big yourself up that much.
No, it was a fun stream, but I wish if I concentrated, I probably would have got the game done. But it's too busy talking about old loves and
old loves.
Old loves, old loss.
Okay. Old loves, old loss. That's another episode title. We got loads of them. Right, okay, cool.
That's it. Yeah, I've been really busy this week. I'm hoping next week more games to talk about for sure.
Sean, you got anything to add?
I have. James and I streamed the new co-op mode in Ghost of Tsushima called Legends. Don't really know why it's called that, because the setting is absolutely bizarre. But I mean, because they'd mentioned, when it was first announced, it was like, oh yeah, it's going to be sort of weird fantasy stuff. It bloody is. It's like, I mean, there is a story, right, which we've not paid attention to because we were playing it in co-op and we were chatting over it, and there's all voiceover stuff going on.
They need to work out how to do that games, don't they?
Yeah, I mean, even if it's...
play co-op game, like even Destiny, you just like, skip this shit.
But like, it's all going on like as you're playing as well, and it's like, no, maybe I just need to enable subtitles. That's probably the answer, isn't it?
I mean, I do that as a matter of fact now. Every game I put subtitles
on.
Yeah,
I pretty much do that,
yeah. So yeah, there is a story that I think explains what is actually going on. But even though it's set in the same world, but it all seems, I think you're all ghosts or something. I don't know, but there's like hearts in the sky pumping away, and everything's red and weird and misty, and
things were
really
very red.
Things were very red. That was an HDR issue, but I won't be drawn on that because people just
in a town at night.
Yeah, because I watched the start of the stream and I was like, wow, this is... I mean, I haven't played the main game, but I know there is like good use of colour and to create striking scenes, but me in the chat were like, well, this is probably too red. I can't see much. In fact, the only time we could really see was when James went to... What's like the detective mode equivalent?
That's right, yeah, and it all goes black and white pretty much.
I was like, okay, It's black and white now, we can see where you are. Yeah, it was incredibly red.
But that was just because he had HDR enabled, which doesn't, obviously, when you're streaming, it sometimes fucks with the colours. And it does warn you of that, but James chose not to heed that warning. But yeah, so basically it's, there's 4 different character classes, which is basically, fighter, assassin, archer, and then there's the Ronin, who is basically like the support character. They can all do basically the same stuff. They've all got like the full moveset. They've all got a bow and arrow, and they can all, fight properly and parry and do all the fancy fighting stuff. They can all assassinate. But they all have different special abilities. So I was playing as the Ronin, who can basically sort of revive and heal people, and also summon a ghost wolf to distract people, which was incredibly good fun. And James just played as the samurai, which is your straight up, sort of warrior character who, I forget what his special is, and it's basically when your special charges up, you just fucking like slice through a load of people in one go, and it's very cool. And it started out, and so there's like a co-op campaign that you can work through, and there's a Horde Mode, and coming soon there is going to be like a raid as well. And we'd wondered how that would work. And when you start the campaign, it's pretty standard, like making your way through a map or a base or whatever, and there's some baddies, and you've got to kill them, or you've got to rescue someone or whatever. And it's fine. Like we were already really enjoying it at that point. And then, as we sort of started getting into it, there were these missions where there'd be like these ritual sites, and each ritual site would be, like sun or moon or wind, I think it's wind or whatever, like different elements, right, with different colours associated with them. And then there's these little like shrines dotted around where you can like imbue your weapon with a given element. So if you want to destroy a sun shrine, you've got to get a sun element on your sword and then go and smash this rune or whatever. And we were like, okay, this just feels a bit like busy work, but whatever. And then the next mission, the enemies start having color-coded shields on them as well. So,
okay, right.
So though you're fighting your way through a big group of enemies in a base or whatever, but as well as fighting them, you're having to go like, right, you get green, I'll get orange, I'll take out like these 3 guys here, you take them out, then I'll find a blue shrine, and then I'll take the other. And suddenly it's like, oh, I see where this is going, and I see how they could get a Destiny-style raid out of it. Yeah,
definitely, yeah.
And this is like the first mechanic we've come across. I think we've barely scratched the surface. So yeah, I mean that was as far as we got with the campaign. Really enjoyed it. And then we tried a bit of the Horde mode, which was fine. I think it was probably a bit too busy. Like the combat sort of falls apart when there's literally 20 enemies running around and you've got 3 mates and you're just sort of hacking into people. Rather than, obviously the main game excelled at like, okay, you might be facing off against 3 or 4 people at once, but there's like that's like a manageable amount of things to pay attention to, and you're constantly, blocking, parrying and dodging and stabbing people. Whereas when it got so busy that sort of went out the window, and it was just a bit of a daft free-for-all, really. It's still pretty good fun, but I think the campaign is where it's at, and presumably the raid when it arrives. So yeah, really pleasantly surprised. There's like tons of stuff to unlock. There's gear for the characters, so you start improving your abilities. You get different weapons, different ranged weapons, with all different attributes and stuff, different costumes. And it's just way more fully featured than I ever expected, considering this was just free and the game had already sold and already done really well. No one was kicking off saying, why isn't this got multiplayer? I think it just wasn't something that anyone assumed could or should have been in the game. So the fact they just went, oh yeah, we're adding this and it's free, and it's actually really substantial.
It sounds like people could just spend all their time in that. It's not just a little side add-on thing. It's exactly, a full-on it's
other
sides of the game.
Yeah, really, but can you start it from afresh, or do you need the experience of playing through the single player?
You would probably need to play the single player first, at least just to get a grounding in how the combat works. Like there is a quick tutorial for each of the characters, but it's it's sort of like 3 minutes on each character class, and then that's it. I suppose you wouldn't be missing much in terms of context, because as I say, the setting for the multiplayer is bizarre. But
how many players in a team can you have? Like, how many mates can play together?
Yeah, so it varies. So the campaign stuff is just 2 player. And then the Horde mode is 4, and then the raid is 4 as well, I believe. So really impressed. Like,
do you reckon you'll play much more? Or
yeah, absolutely. Like James and I both said, it was like maybe not a stream game because there was a lot of us just being like, "Oh, what are we supposed to do?" But and not in an interesting to watch sort of way. But yeah, we're both really keen to go back to it and do more of the campaign. So yeah.
To be fair, that was James opening a door in a David Cage game. It was the same reaction, so I wouldn't go by that.
Good point.
Okay, cool. Was that it?
That is it.
Right, so I did just remember a game that I played yesterday that I wanted to talk about that I'd totally forgotten. So I'll be very brief.
That game is Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah. Little game. Animal Crossing for the first time in 3 months. And I know it's 3 months because, my word, that game likes to tell you that you're out of order.
Oh, no, my God. I hate that.
It's awful. I walked out my house.
Obviously, there's no Rossetti type thing.
Right, let me tell you. I walked out my house. Hair was all fucked up. Right? To be fair,
really?
Yeah. To be fair, I thought, oh no, I'm gonna have to go in and change my hair. That's needless. But my character just ruffled the hair and put it back to what it was. Right? But I still went into my house. Cockroaches everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Does that happen in a Animal Crossing game? Is that a new thing?
Yeah, that's been been a long running thing.
Walking around, had to kill the cockroaches. Walked out, weeds everywhere.
Yeah.
Every prick on the island hates you. Like, you talk to everyone. You're like, well, hey, Samson, how you doing, mate? Where you been? Where have you been? Like, you're just going around going,
I thought you were avoiding me.
Yeah, I thought you avoided me. Oh, you come back, have you? It's like that sort of business. It's horrific. Like, it's horrible. And then you go into the Nook's cranny and they've still got the stuff set that they were selling last time I logged on. And I thought, why have I gone back? I think because Harry popped on for a little bit. So I thought, yeah, I'll have a little look. And of course, Harry's been playing it on and off. Like, he's not been playing it anywhere near as much as we were. But he's been playing it on and off, and now that he knows that I'm not playing it, he's just gone crazy with the island. Like, done some really weird stuff, created areas that you can't walk past because there's too many objects there.
Yeah, Elodie's exactly the same. She's, I mean, I haven't played it for ages, but she's still playing it on and off. And I looked over the screen the other day, and I was like, "Where on the map is that?" It looks so different.
yeah.
But she's
I will say
proper,
this:
changing the whole world now. It's great.
I will say this: when I heard that music, and I started walking around and I did a bit of fishing, I could see how nostalgic gets to people with this game. I really can, because I saw all the bits that I'd created. I was back in lockdown, basically, and I forgot how much that must have helped me mentally. Or maybe I suppose the best way of saying it, I underestimated how much that game must have helped me mentally through lockdown.
It must have helped a lot of people get through those early lockdown
well, it made
months.
you want to get up in the morning and go and check stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
For 20 minutes, you could just sit there and just focus on like
something other
building
than the
something cool. Constant
horror of the outside world. Yeah.
It was a real weird moment for me there. It was just hearing that, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm real, like I'm back there now. You know what I mean?
I wonder if we had like a proper second lockdown, it's looking like it's not going to happen. I wonder if everyone would be like, Animal Crossing?
Yeah.
I wonder if they go,
who's
what they need to do. Yeah.
Who's trying to turn? It's like the good old days back in April 2020.
What they'd need to do is go, Nintendo, can you just do something with this game now, please? Because we know that, I'm assuming the Super Mario stuff's coming next month, and that'll be that. Right? That'll be the update for November. It'll be the Super Mario stuff. Because they're not going to do it for December, because that'll be the Christmas stuff, obviously.
Yeah. I mean, what's to say? I mean, it could be next year, before March.
Yeah, but then you're not in the 35th anniversary of Mario, are you?
But they're releasing games next year which aren't in the 35th anniversary of Mario.
That's true. 3D World. Yeah, it could be next year. It'd be a shame if it was. I mean, you would say fireworks if you were in England, but they seem to just think fireworks was July, right? That was it. Is it July fireworks?
Yeah, 4th of July.
Yeah.
We ain't getting fireworks again. Could you imagine if they did? November firework 2 update. Oh, fuck off. God, I really do feel like they let that slip through their fingers. They could have done so much with that game.
I mean, but they don't need to. It's sold massively.
I know, but it's sold massively. They've made a ton on it. Give something back. Do you know what I mean?
It's Nintendo. They don't need to. They'll do little bits and people will come back to it.
Annoying, isn't it? Fucking annoying. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that as well. Right, should we get to questions?
Yeah. If you want to contact us, go to tcgs.co/deartcgs. Stuart Wright says, listening to James talk about pushing through Mario 64 in a hate-fueled rage made me wonder, do you have any other hobbies or interests outside of gaming that make you more angry than happy? Twitter is the obvious one for me, but apart from that, I'm not sure I've ever hate-watched a movie, hate-read a book, or hate-played a game of football.
Podcasting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, good. We just talk about games with your mates. What's that? People fucking hate you. They're like sending you tweets telling you you're a prick or that you got something wrong, or you go onto a forum and you see a podcast thread and you have you heard of TCGS? No, that fucking David's a prick. Can't listen to him. Yeah. Fuck you.
Yeah, like getting abuse in the inbox every day. You're like, that Matt is a wanker, actually. At first I liked him, and he's an absolute twat. Yeah, that sort of stuff. Yeah, that.
Yeah, well, that's me. That's me, man.
Yeah, he did say David Turner. I just thought it was someone else.
No, that was me.
I was you. Okay.
David, someone's impersonating you in the inbox. Yep, let's go with that. Let's go with that.
Yes, they are. How naughty.
Same picture as well. It's weird.
I think I'm pretty good at disengaging with things once they're starting to annoy me, including Twitter. And now, like sometimes you look at the...
I know, you've been mates with me for a long time.
Like even when you just look at the trending section and you're just like, that's going to annoy me. I'm just not going to look at it. I don't need to know. I'm getting pretty good at that now, I think.
Best thing I did with Twitter, and I apologise if anyone saw me unfollow them about 2 years ago, it was genuinely nothing personal. So I realised I was getting too into Twitter, and it was just before Charlie was born. I was like, I need to step back a bit, but I don't really want to delete Twitter. So I basically unfollowed everyone except for Millwall players. It's great.
Oh,
you go on there and you see their really weak banter towards each player. Lots of the muscle emoji. We could do this. 3 points this week, lads. Come on, we go again. And then it's like, apologise for my performance. We will try harder. I like that. So that's pretty much my Twitter experience now.
Because I went through a thing of unfollowing loads of people just because I was spending too much time on it, and I thought, do you know what? If I just really pare this down, it will ultimately limit how much time I can spend on it because there just won't be enough things happening to keep me on it. And it did work. But since then, I've sort of, seen people I used to follow, retweeted or whatever. And I'm just like, they're a perfectly nice person and they tweet funny things.
They do funny things and they say nice things. I remember that tweet they did. I'll follow them.
Yeah, and then
I've not got to that point yet. I'm still quite happy seeing Millwall players say, but it's like
because you see people who I used to follow and they used to follow me as well, and they'd obviously spotted that I'd unfollowed them and presumably taken umbrage and unfollowed me back, or just decided independently that I'm shit at Twitter and didn't want to follow me anymore. But and he's like, well, I'm going to refollow them now, and they haven't refollowed me back. So,
do you know what? The best thing you can possibly do is to disconnect any personal approval or anything.
Oh no, absolutely, because this is it. Is it I sort of I think I put something in my bio that was just like, sorry if I've unfollowed you, I am just trying to spend less time on there. And I got a few tweets from people saying I did notice, but thank you for saying that. But yeah, you sort of when you're on the receiving end, you have to sort of think it doesn't mean anything. It's not a...
It means nothing.
Seal of approval. There are people I love, but I can't follow them on Twitter because following them on Twitter, all it does is hurt my relationship with them in a completely unnecessary way. Because I just don't either like not necessarily even I don't agree with them, just that like their Twitter habits are just a bit much, for example, and it's nothing they're doing wrong. It's just how they use Twitter and how I use it don't really gel. So yeah, it doesn't mean you don't like them or you're not mates or whatever. If you just like, it's just one way of interacting with someone, and if it doesn't work for you, fuck it.
Are you following me? Need to check that. Are you following me? You've unfollowed me, Sean, and you're off the show.
I haven't followed you, Dave. It's fine.
Good. Don't you ever?
Because I don't. So, for example, I don't follow Matt on Twitter. I probably should. I should probably fix that because it was years and years and years and years ago. It was years ago. It was before. I can't remember.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you joking?
No.
You don't follow Matt on Twitter.
I don't follow Matt on Twitter because.
I'm not saying
not his fault.
You're
it was
out
just
of order. I just didn't know that was an option.
No, it's just because when we barely knew each other, and I think you were just tweeting a lot about work stuff, and I was just kind of like,
yeah, probably really was back in those days.
Yeah, and I was just like, I'm not really, don't get it. Which again,
don't care about content strategy, do you, Sean?
No, not really. I do now.
Now, Matt's worst period on Twitter, and I think you're fully aware that I think this, Matt, so I don't think I'm breaking any news to you, do you remember when you went through that phase where you were legitimately trying to work for the BBC? And not in a shit way. You had a legitimate plan to go work for the BBC.
Definitely, yeah.
So you changed your tweet style completely, and it was unbearable, Sean. It was like, you'd have thought it was a bot. Now, that's not having a go at you. You were trying to do something, and that's totally fine.
Isn't it?
Kind of sound like I thought, okay, well, I'm not going to swear anymore on Twitter, and I don't do it now to this day. And I thought, okay, I'm not going to do that. Mm-hmm. And I thought, okay, I'll just try and be like a BBC presenter, just like nothing offensive, nothing, because nothing like, I don't know, not shock humor, but nothing that I wouldn't want to read or get worried if a potential employee read that and said, you can't be tweeting this stuff. So I totally just changed overnight. It's like, okay, just sensible down the line, and then it's got boring as hell.
Chilled out a little bit.
It's got boring as hell, so I stopped that. And then I started tweeting about my work stuff loads, because I thought, okay, this is what other big people in the industry were doing. I'll do that, and then that got boring, so I stopped doing that. And now I'm just me now, man. Maybe one day you'll come back, Sean.
I was gonna do. I'm gonna re-follow you now.
No, Sean, you're going to regret that.
Don't do that.
Is it funny? Okay.
Sorry, Matt. That was a big. You're going to regret that.
So, no, mate, don't. He's even worse now.
Sean, don't follow me now just because it's been brought up on the show. That's
can we call this podcast Pity Follow?
Yeah, that is a good one, actually. Yeah, it's short as well.
It's just like
as well.
It's just like,
I've got a lot of stuff to cram into that tweet. It says all the stuff we do on the episode. Follow.
Did you ever mention it to Sean? You didn't ever mention it to Sean?
No, we've never had this conversation.
That'd be awkward, wouldn't it?
Yeah, but when you noticed it, what did you think?
I just thought, well, I get it,
Did you, though?
Or did you think it was keeping me awake at night? I mean, my sleep's been very bad anyway. It's nothing to do with that, Sean.
Sure. Well, you don't know. You might sleep like a baby tonight.
Well, I think I fucking will once I get a notification.
Honestly, because Matt's never mentioned it to me, Sean. Matt's never mentioned it to me.
No, well, I didn't mention it to anyone, of course.
Well, I think it's because
I'll be honest. I'll be like, it's a shame, but I also totally get it, because we're all trying to survive every day, and exactly the stuff you two have just said. It's not about the person; it's about
100%.
If someone tweets a certain way. I've unfollowed loads of people, not because I think they're a bad person or I don't like them or whatever. I'm just like, I just can't, and so I didn't. It's I've got
loads of real life. I haven't got loads of real life friends, but I've got a few real life friends. I've got very few.
I've got no friends actually in real life.
I'm struggling for friends. If you could DM me if you're interested in friendship, I'll get back to you. But no, I've got some real life friends that I follow on Twitter that don't follow me back, and I've never cared. But I'm like, a few of them go, I can't follow you because they're just jokes that I'll never get because they're about video games and I don't care about that. All you tweet about is video games. I'm like, yeah, fine.
Yeah, I've had that before, yeah.
I do not care. If you don't follow me, it's totally fine. And don't feel weird that I follow you and that you have to follow me back, because I just... you're not talking about video, it's weird. It's I get it.
Yeah, because a few years ago, I was like, I used to feel guilty around E3 time, and I used to send a tweet saying, just let you know, next 2 weeks are basically give you loads of inane tweets you won't get unless you're watching a particular live stream at 3 a.m.
And half of the tweets will just be me going, yes!
Just unfollow me if you don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, I think after a couple of years of E3, I would make a point of being like, I'm going to use this hashtag, please mute it if you're not interested. But I feel like everyone on Twitter is just fully settled into this stuff now, right? Like, no one, I think I've said this before, but no one like makes friends on Twitter anymore. Like, it used to be a thing that like, do you know what I mean? Because I feel like there used to be a time where, like, if a friend retweeted a friend of theirs, you would follow them, and they'd be like, oh, this person followed me, and they're a friend of such and such. I may as well follow them back. And that was like enough of a basis for you to start talking.
It's how I got to know Sam and Joe and a lot of your friends.
Exactly, but that wouldn't happen now. I don't think.
I don't know.
Unless there was like a real
older now.
Unless there was like a real reason for you to be involved.
To that stuff.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's maybe it's our age rather than a change in the way people use Twitter. But I don't know. It just feels to me it's like, you couldn't just start bothering a friend of a friend because they'd just be like, sorry, who are you? What's going on? Who's this? What do you want? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's true. I've felt a few times. Yeah, I felt bad about a couple of times about that. Someone who did it. Oh shit! I think it was Catherine Boyle was tweeting someone about Animal Crossing.
Oh yeah,
and they said something. I thought I got a good gag for this, so I sent them both the gag.
Yeah,
and I just thought, I wish I never did that.
Yeah, I've been
just
that
like
guy.
Some random bloke going, what about this?
I must every single day I must draft a tweet and say, and just delete it. Like, what's the point?
Oh god, yeah.
What is the point of one jumping in a conversation or liking a random tweet? Is like, I just don't do that stuff anymore because what's the point?
Have you ever like become aware that you're that person who to someone else? You're that person who just likes pretty much everything they say on Twitter.
I've tried to like relimit stuff now because I'm worried about that. So, which is a shame, really. The other day, I can't remember what it was. It was just a joke or it's something, and I was like, I could send this, and it's perfectly innocent, but I was like, I'm not going to do it because I will be that guy, or someone take it the wrong way.
And they'll look at it and be like, who's this?
After considering everything we've just said, and looking back at the original question.
Well, what's the original question?
Well, maybe we are hate tweeting. Like, maybe we're clearly overthinking everything.
I'm definitely overthinking everything, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
That's not good, is it?
Yeah. No, I mean, I can't basically... Yeah, the thing I was going to send, I can't remember what it was, but at the time I was like, this is instant. I said to you later, like, it's pretty sad that in 2020 I feel like can't do this thing because someone take it the wrong way, and it's like a whole world of pain if I were to send a really innocent tweet, but it's just...
As in you worried that it's going to be, offensive, or just that you're just going to be this guy cropping up in someone else's conversation?
I can't remember. It was... I can't remember, but it was totally innocent. I mean, obviously someone listened to it, so yeah, right, Matt, it's probably...
Yeah, well, you have said that too many times.
No, I can't remember what it was about, but I was like, it was... but someone took it the wrong way, so I thought, it's no point. It's just...
See, it's not so much that for me. It's like, I don't talk about politics on Twitter as much as I've wanted to in the past. I don't talk about politics on Twitter, and it's not for fear of offending someone. It's just that, some random... There's always that chance that a random group of people will see that tweet and then bombard you for the day. And I don't need that in my life. Yeah. I don't need a day's worth of abuse from complete strangers on Twitter in my life at all. So I just don't do it. Fuck that shit. Fuck it. Anyway, okay.
No, in terms of hate, I mean, the things that make me as angry as I do happy is football, for sure.
Yeah, that's a good answer.
I mean, obviously I love football, and obviously I love it, but it also makes me incredibly angry at points. And some weekends I'm like, what's the fucking point of watching it? It's terrible. Yeah, terrible. That's it. But I can't. Yeah, I mean, Stuart's right. I can't ever think of a time I've watched a movie or hate read a book.
My God, yeah, just sat there the entire time going, this is fucking shit. Like things, obviously, like a film especially, because it's so, it's zero effort. It can be bad but entertaining. But I've never sat there getting angry at how bad a film was and watched it through to the end. If it's like that, there've been films I've genuinely hated and I've turned them off halfway through because life's too short.
Yeah, I've never done that because I've always thought like there's a chance they could have an ending that changes things or it could redeem itself. I can't think of many examples of watched like terrible films.
I like listening to really, really bad podcasts.
Isn't that all of them?
Because they just make me laugh. There's usually enough stuff in there that really makes me laugh.
I don't know, because with bad podcasts, it's like, well, either they're probably, earlier on in their careers, in which case we've all been there. You can't. No,
Kane Rince has been going for a long time.
Hey! Or it's actually like well-established outlets. Naming no names. But you're just like, why did none of you sound like you want to be here? This is terrible. And it's just really, I don't know. And that just annoys me. And again, I don't particularly want to hear it. It just irritates me.
But that fascinates me with the build-up to E3. That fascinates me with the build-up to E3. When you hear a gaming press on a podcast complaining about going to E3, and you want to go, who do you think wants to hear that? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Who out of your thousands of listeners
6
that are really into gaming want to hear you say, it's really tough, you've got to go to all these interviews. Why do people need to hear that? Like, I've never understood that.
I'm sure it is hard work. I just...
Yeah, 100%. But do people need to be told that? Because what are they going to get from that?
Yeah,
I've always wanted to go E3. Oh, these guys are saying it's shit. I won't. It's bizarre. It's weird. It's strange.
I mean, like us doing EGX is fucking exhausting, but I still love it. And I wouldn't dream of being like, do you know what? Actually, I was really tired and the food wasn't. I do moan about the food. Actually, that's not fair. But
it's true.
But do you know what I mean? Overall, it's like I've never complained about it. Apart from
the time we complain about the queues.
And the food and the
Well, the collective we, I'm going to say.
That was you complaining about people queuing up to play FIFA that was already out.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it wasn't complaining that there was a queue. It's complaining or just not understanding people's mindset.
I didn't have to complain after a while because then they just said, "Oh, it's Matt. Yeah, come to the front." I'm like, "Thank you, Jesus." How many times?
Crown on.
I'm not queuing with these plebs. I'll say, Far Cry Blood Dragon, please.
Maria Mendieta says, "Dear TCGS Coalition." Nice.
She's done that before.
Has she? Is that an old one? Oh, recycling bloody content, repeats. Maria. Come on. It says Digital Foundry has demonstrated that the game's pushing the Series X beyond all others is last year's Gears installment. Unlike us mortals, it is destined to continue to look and run well for a few more years. Which brings me to my question. If their bodies atrophied like everyone else's, which gaming characters do you think would age gracefully? Personally, I hope to one day withstand high-impact calisthenics the way Cranky Kong does. What a stud. I don't know, man.
Cranky Kong.
Cranky Kong,
the dude that comes out with a walking stick and a long beard.
Yeah, he's fucking invincible. As long as he's on his cane, he's fucking immortal, mate. I was thinking, presumably Nathan Drake will make quite a silver fox one day, but then all that shooting and climbing, his hands are fucked.
Yeah.
He's going to have, really, I don't know, broken fingers, but then he's from the neck up, he'll be great.
Scratching down the face. Why is his hand going down my face? That's
why would that? Yeah, why are you dreaming of that? Why is that your
weird?
Why is that your fancy, Dave?
Who else?
I just imagine. Sometimes I like to drift, Matt.
Dave and
who else? I think the dude from Shenmue. He would make quite a strapping older man.
Yeah.
His posture's pretty fucking good.
It's impeccable.
It's incredibly locked, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's well locked. It is locked.
I'll say Alex Kidd.
Yeah, do you reckon he's a handsome young man right now?
I mean, I just think he'd be fine as an old man. I mean, he's got massive fists as a kid. What's he going to be like when he's old?
Maybe the fists stay the same size and he grows into them.
Yeah.
Like when your mum bought you school trousers at summer holiday. You'll grow into them.
I also think he'll be fine because he'll win every battle using rock, paper, scissors.
There, that ain't going to work in
I've just realised he's...
brawl, is it?
Well, it's worked for a few games, Dave, and I'm not worried about the pub rule. He's done a lot of good things. I've
just realised.
But he's not going to be stuck in those games forever, is he? He's going to want to go out and go get pissed up. Matt, he's not going to be Alex Kidd. Hold on. Is that his actual name? So is he going to be Alex Kidd when he's like 90?
Yes.
Yeah.
You go, that's false advertising, mate.
I'm Alex Kidd. I'm the Alex Kidd.
I think he renames to Alex Man with 2 N's. But no, I've just realised the video to Everlong by the Foo Fighters is actually a canonical sequel to the Alex Kidd games.
Oh my god, I can't remember the video to that, so sorry. I remember the Fly one where they all dress up as...
Not cool.
What was it?
Dress up as Jeff Goldblum.
I was going to say Bayonetta, but Bayonetta's already like 400 years old, isn't she?
That's true, yeah, I don't think she ages. I think that's just...
Well, actually, that's the
question, isn't it? Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? If they did actually like everyone else, then Bayonetta would age well.
Yeah, Bayonetta was already aged well, but...
Yeah, mate. Right.
Striking woman.
Okay, let's move on.
Good.
What else we got? Darren. Well, he spelt it Dareen, but I don't know if that's me getting it wrong or him getting it wrong. Either way, I'll go with Dareen. Hey guys. Firstly, just wanted to say how much more convenient it is navigating to your website, opening a drop-down menu to a new page, only to have a second tab open with a Google form in it. Great job. He's being sarcastic. We should briefly mention why we've done this, although it hasn't really worked, has it? Someone's been sending us abuse, like every few days. Just getting, I say us, it's all directed at me.
Yeah, mostly Sean.
Which is really nice.
It's pretty bad. It's been pretty horrible.
Yeah,
I'm laughing because they seem to slip in there that they like me. No.
Well, maybe you should have maybe have a think about why that might be.
I know that is bad. That is genuinely what I thought when I saw when they first started coming in.
Yeah.
And then I saw the mention of me in it. I just thought, oh no, no. No,
don't. So they were using the old contact form, and I think we sort of hoped that maybe getting rid of that would get rid of them, but it hasn't. They've started using the new one, so I don't know. We'll see how we go.
Because and I know people moaned originally because I did that, but the whole idea is that the contact form on social was easier than saying email podcast open bracket at close bracket and have to copy that, change that, like
you just give them a link,
click on that Google thing, way easier for social.
Yep.
I mean, I get it. I get the user journey is not as good on the website, sure, but it is what it is.
It's another one of those things, isn't it? Whereas if we were massive, we'd just accept, like, well, yeah, of course, a portion of it's going to be abusive. Like, what do you expect? Whereas, we're still small enough that we do just get big enough that we get random abuse, but small enough that we see all of it and like, oh, great, thanks for that. That's really nice.
Yeah, I will say, like, we didn't really want to talk about it because the person in question or the people in question, probably loving that.
Oh yeah, they'll definitely be listening and wait, like, desperate for their mention. So
100% clear, we all think you're a cunt, mate. Do you know what I mean? It's not
that's
like
coming from Dave, the cool one.
We just think you're a bit of a fucking prick.
Yeah.
That's our reaction to that.
Yep.
There you go.
Anyway, the actual question was the original Fire Emblem's been announced for Switch, but it's another short-term release. It's only available till March. So is A, what are they up to? B, is there an HD Switch on the horizon? C, is March a cut-off point because they're going to Nintendo it up and not make it backwards compatible? I don't know. I still don't know what this is about.
So when was this announced?
I think this was this week. I mean, I didn't put it in the news because it's the original.
So what's only available till March?
So the original Fire Emblem is getting a release on Switch.
Right.
And it's only going to be until March.
I mean,
something's happening in March, isn't it? Because that's 3 games now.
But like the Mario stuff made it didn't really make sense, but it made more sense because it was like, hey, 35th anniversary, blah blah blah. But like, this is Fire Emblem. That's got nothing to do with it. So limiting this is also very weird.
What the fuck is going on in March? What do you reckon? They just come out and just go with done?
Again, they're just trying to pump the financial figures for this year.
No, they're fucking not, Matt, because they don't need to.
But they can do, so they will do.
Right, okay. So why cut it out at the end of this year? if they pump financial figures into this year, in a year in which they're already doing incredibly well, and then they will stop it to leave a money gap, a money hole in next year's financial figures. That theory holds no water whatsoever.
Next year's financial figures will be buoyed by the release of a new Switch.
Mario All-Stars 3D was a big deal. This is a re-release of a NES game from 1990. Admittedly, it's now a very big series, but I've as a fan of the series, I have no desire to go back to this.
Matt, think about the logic around that theory. It doesn't work. It makes zero sense.
I don't want to think about logic, mate. It's not.
It's not how he operates.
Why? Because you heard it somewhere and you thought, oh, that sounds good.
It's a great
theory.
That
operates entirely on instinct, Dave. You can't bog him down with academics.
Don't bring logic into this. Yeah. That's true.
Doing. If we quash that, we don't get the Matt that we know and love. So,
exactly.
Yeah, you're right.
Don't bring logic into this shit.
Matt, go with your heart.
They're pumping the financials, Dave. They're pumping them.
I say go with your heart. Go with what you heard on Kind of Funny, right?
Actually, I haven't listened to that for a while, so thanks for ruining that, guys. All right.
No worries. Right.
Thanks for ruining the one thing I love in this life. You're taking that, twats.
Really? Well, we've done you a favour with that.
No, they're brilliant.
Are they?
Let's not get into it.
Okay.
What are they up to? No idea. Is there a HD Switch? I mean, yes, obviously. I mean, 2021, we're expecting a new Switch. That's
we're all expecting a new Switch in 2021.
And I'll flip in by it.
Wasn't there an article recently? I don't know what website it was on, and I only saw the headline, so it's probably terrible to even bring it up. But yeah, it was kind of like they should drop the normal Switch.
That was a Michael Pachter quote.
Oh my God.
Fuck me.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
He thought they should drop it.
Michael Pachter.
I think there's like Daniel Ahmad, and also I think other people have said this in the past. They should have like different versions. They have like a Switch Home, Switch Lite.
Yeah.
I mean,
go on.
Switch Pro.
I mean, I can't remember.
Go on.
Well, no, it was a Switch.
Don't just stop at the ones that are out. A Switch Home, which is the normal Switch. Yeah. Switch Lite.
Maybe it's just M2. No. Switch Home is dock only.
Okay.
Switch Lite is no dock, and Switch Hybrid, which is both.
Okay. So you should release one new Switch, is what you're saying then?
Yes.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying, yes.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I think I'd use more of a mixture. So I think even if I used dockless, like a barely at all, I'd still want the one that does both, just on the odd occasion.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, that's one I'll go for.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I'm glad we've clarified that.
Good. Yeah. Thanks.
But it's not actually doesn't answer the question because we've no idea.
Switch Home.
All right, last one. The Riddler's back. He says to the brain boxes, "You feel clever."
No, he's not. This is the fake Riddler.
No, it's a different one.
This is the real. The first one was a fake one. This is the real one.
Point,
he's actually giving us riddles.
About that. Go on.
Right,
okay, let's do this
riddles.
then. I'm into this. Let's go.
He says, "You feel clever solving my first riddle."
Yeah, can we do a voice, Sean?
Do a voice. It feels like he needs a voice.
What do you feel clever solving my first riddle? The riddle that was aimed at 8-year-olds. It starts off easy, a slow tempo, easy listening. Cannot have James feeling any sort of brain powers needed at that point, or he'd tap out. He wants to go to bed. So it was something to soothe the brain, knowing it would be the last thing you read out. Yes, it was predicted. Predictable spoiler Sean Bell, like a continuous loop. Apologise. But then you mock me. Try harder. How dare you, knowing it was easy, being told it was easy. All for you to say to try harder. Although I must admit, Matt assuming it too obvious, as in a trap, that was a symphony. Oh, such all delight. As in A-U-R-A-L. He will be the person to fail you in this. Try harder, be careful what you wish for. So to your riddle. Of course, it's still easy for most people. You might struggle. The more you take of me, the more you leave behind. What am I? Can you get this? See you next week, Ed.
This is one. These are the worst riddles, right? Where there's probably about 50 answers, but it's which one am I thinking of? Like the one that I heard recently, it was like on a quiz or whatever, was what goes up and down the stairs but doesn't move. And it was the answer they were looking for was a handrail, but someone else said carpet. They
also
both
good,
work. Yeah, both work. But they said no, carpet doesn't get a point. It's handrail. But carpet does get a point, right? Because that answers it as well. No, but that's not the answer. It's handrail. Oh, fuck you.
The answer's I've got loads of questions about the Panama Canal in a minute.
The answer's time, by the way. The answer is time. Cheers. One time at work, this guy was like, "Oh, it was a really good riddle. A man's in a lift, and the power goes out, and the lift stops, and suddenly he realizes his wife's died. Why? How does he know?" And I was, and I thought, well, maybe he's in hospital and his wife's on life support, but then no, they'd have backup generators, so that's not it. And then sort of after about 5 minutes, I know, I give in. He's like, he was in hospital, and his wife's on life support. And I said, well, no, but they'd have backups, mate. They wouldn't just let a whole hospital of people in intensive care die because of a power cut. And he was just
the lift went out.
Yeah, rubbish.
Great.
Anyway, it's time.
Sorry, I do have to try harder, mate.
I like the fact that you just dropped. I like the fact that this whole email, and it was all like, "Oh, be careful what you wish for," and the answer was not important. Right, so I heard this riddle the other. Oh, sorry, the answer was time. Anyway, I heard this riddle the other. Poor old riddler.
Oh, the answer's time. Okay.
I'm actually quite enjoying this. To be clear, Ed, if you're listening, this is good.
Edward Nickman.
I'm happy for this to run for a little bit yet.
But that's it.
Sure. That's it.
End bit, open brackets, Matt, close brackets.
This Friday, Star Trek Bridge Crew.
I'm excited.
We're all back.
The temp returns, baby.
Yeah, we got 4 of us. We're going to do it in VR, obviously, that's what we do. Yeah, this Friday at 9 p.m, twitch.tv/TCGS. The last one was great fun, so be there and watch us play Star Trek Bridge Crew in VR. On Sunday, I would ordinarily be doing Mario, but I don't know why, but for some reason I'm thinking it's spooky season. I would play a scary game, and I'm obviously a massive wuss. So, but I kind of
have you ever played PT?
I don't have it on my PlayStation anymore.
No, but have you ever played PT?
I did like 1 or 2 laps. 2 laps maybe.
You could definitely download it on PC somehow, right?
Yeah, I don't know. So in terms of
you could definitely download it on PC.
Let's not investigate any further.
Yeah, I don't know.
If you know how to download that game, like the Mac can play PT, then let us know.
I don't think that'd be the one I want you to play. Because that's the whole reason that
I'll investigate that. I mean, the other ones are what I was thinking. Okay, the obvious one for me is the one that came first to mind was Resi 7 VR. But I'm not gonna do it because it means kicking you out of the room at 8:00 on a Sunday, and I've already done it on a Friday, so I'm not gonna do that. Yeah. Maybe I could play Resi 7 not VR, which I hear is still scary.
No, PT.
You
don't fancy PT at all, do you?
I mean, I could do. There's that Phasmophobia, which everyone's sort of raving about, obviously, at the moment, like the ghost hunting one.
Isn't that a co-op game?
Sounds amazing.
I think everyone I've seen streaming that, it's always been like streamers getting together and playing it together. I think it's primarily a co-op thing, isn't it?
Cool. So are you volunteering, Sean?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, come on.
Nope. Not
I'll
a
hold
chance.
your hand, it's fine.
Not
You've
a chance.
made this decision, Matt. No one's asking you to do this. You've done this. You can't force other people to do it.
I think I'm going to do a scary game. I'm not sure what yet. But if you're listening to this on the Wednesday or before Sunday at least, let me know your suggestions. I don't quite know why, because I'll probably regret it 5 seconds in.
Fuck. Is it Stories Untold? The ones...
Oh, yeah, I've done that one.
Oh, you've done it? Fine.
Yeah, it wasn't that scary. It was, that also actually a bit of news. That's coming out on consoles this week or next week. PlayStation, nice. Xbox, and PS4. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. There's a short selection of
tougher than you
slightly
thought.
Creepy stories.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what I'm going to stream, but I'm going to stream Sunday at 8:00. Probably something scary. So get involved. That is it for streams. Sure, might do the odd lunchtime one, but
I've got
as and when.
Yeah, few I'd like to do in the week, but nothing.
If you have Amazon Prime, you have Twitch Prime Gaming, and with that you get one free subscription every month which you can give to any channel you want, and we'd massively appreciate it. More than you know, if you come over to our channel and gave us your free monthly sub, that'd be lovely. Or on Patreon, of course, patreon.com/TCGS. Our monthly podcast is out for October. We've got big plans for that, and we did our talks over as Dave mentioned at the start last week, so that's there to watch as well. And you go to tcgs.co for everything else. There's a store there to get TCGS merch. You can contact us, not using the form, and that's about it.
Christmas is coming up. Get your loved one a hoodie or some shit with our logo on.
Yeah, it's a great hoodie. I'm wearing one right now.
Do you know? I think this might be the first year I don't bother with a Christmas jumper.
Oh yeah, I don't need to. I didn't buy a new one every year. I used my Only Fools and Horses one that says Cushy Christmas on it every year. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, haven't you got a gaming related one, Matt?
No.
I thought you did.
No. I've got honestly the same one I've had for like 5 years. No, not gaming one.
I've never known how I feel about the gaming ones. I think I don't like them.
No different from any of the others, are they?
I suppose. Yeah, they're like no Christmas jumpers are actually good, so who gives a shit, I suppose. But don't need one this year. No one's going to see me in it. What does it matter? Yep.
Talking of stuff like that, how many pictures of people dressed up as the coronavirus are we going to see over Halloween?
I mean, how do you dress up as a coronavirus?
How would they do that?
Just the big round ball with a bit sticking out of it.
It'd be quite funny, actually.
You think? You're having a laugh, aren't you?
Well, no, the way you described it there, big round ball with your face sticking out, that sounds funny.
And with things sticking out of it, we say. That's all the little bits.
I don't think we're going to see as many as you think, because most people aren't going to be going out, are they?
No.
I don't know, Matt. Look out your window.
Yeah, people are
right thick. Now, I'm podcasting.
You do not give a shit.
There's 50 people dressed up as red balls outside my house. Good point.
We'll catch you next week.
Standard.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for living it, and hopefully James Farley will be back.
You say that as if there's like a chance he's just not going to make it.
Good night.
Good night.
No.